content.
Yeah, when you're ready, you're me to introduce it.
You can't do if you want. It's your subject, you know. It's your subject.
Yeah. Sometimes we see disrespect going to, I'll say especially more, is the direction of the African spirituality, religions and stuff like that, coming from the Abrahamic faith. My question was, but I don't want to say it that way. Also, it might be in the other direction as well. I want to see if it's in the scriptures that that's how you're supposed to refer to other people's religious beliefs, even if you don't want to start a conversation from here.
Okay, so are you saying Abrahamic religions have a disrespectful way of?
I don't know if it's in the scriptures or not.
No, but
I
like
see it in like a lot of the times when, for instance, voodoo is referred to as like a evil black magic.
Oh, voodoo, yeah.
Stuff like that. You hear me? So I want to know if that comes from like a personal understanding of the other thing, or if it's taught in the religion that anything other than their thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what's your name?
Shaka.
I'm Ali. Nice meeting you. Yeah? It's a pleasure. I like your jacket.
Thank you very much.
It's quite nice.
Thank you very much.
You like my jacket?
It's alright. Pretty ordinary, you know what I mean?
That's good.
It's not as fabulous as mine, but it's all good.
You see, that's honesty. Because usually someone would say, yeah, say the same, but he's actually observed it. So that means I have to improve my jacket. So next time I will. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
yes,
so Shaka, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I think the question was that the people. What's the background that you're coming from?
I define myself as an African spiritualist.
Okay.
Which means that I adhere to the indigenous spiritual traditions of the African continent or African people and our diaspora, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so and I think the conversation here today is the treatment of both parties.
I think because I have observed this, and I'm probably one of few people that openly adhere in this part, or let's say in the community that frequents or observes this part to an African spiritual system. And so most people here are Abrahamic, either Christian, Muslim, or Jew. And so that dominates the conversation. But when my thing comes in, it's like everybody and everything kind of is against it. And I've experienced it even provoked or unprovoked. So I think he's just observing it and saying we should have a conversation about but the dynamic, you know what I'm saying? But I think the question is really if that's something that's scriptural, or is it just people that adhere to the religion that are responding to it, or what?
Okay, that's quite interesting, because I share that sentiment with you, because sometimes as Muslims we feel like that. Because when we come to the park, even though you might see as we belong to this one umbrella of Abrahamic faith, but actually we get a lot of hostility from them. So the thing is that there's a lot of recent events, not recent events, but events that's happened in the park, where we as Muslims, we have felt like, you know what, the Jews, Zionists, the Christians, be it the Kemits, be it, I don't know, maybe it's African spiritualists.
Kemet would be part of it.
Yeah, part of it as well. So what with even the Black Israelites, So we've believed at times, and even I would add some certain, we call them Rafida, like.
What's Rafida mean?
I'm not trying to say that you have the Shias and you have like the extreme sense, who curse the Sahaba, etc.
Okay.
Even them coming together against us, the Sunni Muslim, you can say, So to us, how you feel, I feel that, because I felt that. Because we will come here, I was having a discussion once, and I would see, for example, you'll have a Christian attacking me, you'll have a Jewish guy attacking me, you'll have a Zionist, then you have the Black Kemet, and all of them, and they're all, and you'll see this, because this is happening in the park as well, where there was a bit of a split between, I think, the Kemetic or Black spiritualists, where they were like, look, someone taking Tommy Robinson's side, etc. So the thing is, we was getting attacked left, right, centre. So I believe, I hear where you're coming from, because I felt that. But putting that aside, talking about the broader aspect of this issue, is I think what it is that we are told that we are not allowed to insult the deities of other people's religious gods. It's actually not permissible. Because Allah tells us clearly in the Quran that we should not insult them. That in case if they insult back, I could be sinful. So we have a concept that if I, for example, cause you to insult my mum, I get the sin. Because I caused you to insult my mum. You get it? So you might think and say, hold on a second, no. Because if I come and say, your mum, and you say, no, your mum, I've actually committed two sins. Number one, by insulting your mum. Number two, by causing you to insult my mum. Do you get it? So Islamically, we are not allowed to insult other people's deities. It's not permissible. So I think in the comment section, wherever it be, there's a lot of ignorant people, you know, and different people go through different struggles in life. You have your own struggles, I have my own struggles, we all get tested in different ways. And different people choose to express that and live that in different ways. Some people take it out on other people, some people take it out on themselves, you know, some people take it out on a variety of other ways and avenues. And some people go to social media. You know, this park is like EastEnders now, you know, sadly, you know, you come here and everyone's trying to be a character within themselves. And I think that's what it boils down to, because if you look at the religious context, Islamically, there is nothing that tells us to insult somebody else's deity or somebody else. So I think, personally, I believe it just comes from ignorance and emotion and anger.
So I'm going to separate the rest of the Abraham. I know that among the Abrahamic faiths, they have their debates, they have their whatevers. Because that's not my thing, I'm not really going to deal with that. But other than to say that when it comes to things outside of the Abrahamic faiths, for example, whereas there are debates and there have been atrocities between people that practice Abrahamic faiths, there is also something within those faiths that in some way, shape or form, they're given to mutual respect. I'm made to understand, for example, that a Muslim man can marry a woman of another Abrahamic faith. Not necessarily a woman can't do the same, but my point is that just that identification means that there is something about these other faiths that are Abrahamic that the Muslim is compelled to respect something in them.
That's what I look at the people of the book.
Right, people of the book.
We need from their meat,
exactly. Marry. All that kind of stuff, right? So I'm saying, for people outside of that doesn't exist. So whatever exists, whatever has existed in terms of what happens at the park and them kind of things there. Now, you mentioned something, and I'm going to pray on the wisdom that you spoke on in terms of framing what you said about Kemet. Because when you speak about people that adhere to Kemetic tradition attacking Islam, then you would have to factor that in to the analogy that you gave in terms of causing somebody to insult your mother. Because when it comes to Kemet and the spiritual systems of Kemet and Islam, the attack came from Islam or people that practice Islam towards Kemet. People that practice Kemetic spirituality didn't go into Arabia and attack Muslims, or, you know what I'm saying, them kind of things there. We're talking about an invasion that came, and with it, along with that invasion came a cultural imperialism, a spiritual imperialism, and in fact, the Abrahamic faiths from their beginning, because very much in Genesis, from the first five books that are adhered to, the spiritual systems of Kemet are being slandered, are being talked down upon, are being called, derisive terms like pagan and heathen and them kind of things there. So my point is that you don't find the same thing among Kemetic spirituality. Just what I'm saying, we don't find that same thing, right? So my point is that first stone was thrown by the Abrahamic faiths, So now you're seeing a reaction of people saying, well, these traditions have negatively characterized indigenous traditions of the African continent. Now we are assessing those traditions within that context, according to our own history, and saying these traditions are against who we are, our culture, our spirituality. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the debates will happen. Right now, I'm not speaking for everybody that proclaims a Kemetic spiritual system. I'm just saying that that's the history of the thing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, on a personal level, I had a live talk the other day. Well, I was just talking to a brother about African spirituality. We were not talking about any other tradition. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about African spirituality. Because even in our own community as black people, because of the demonization, many of us, and because of things like colonization and slavery, both Arabic and European, because of and the fact that we live in a world whereby the three major world religions are Abrahamic. So they have a status that other religions don't have. And that kind of thing. So let's talk about African spirituality. And immediately the live starts, people come in the chat. The first comment was, I remember the guy's name, but I'm not going to mention his name, was like, there's no God but Allah, and you know what I'm saying, that kind of stuff, right? And I'm saying, we're not even talking about Islam. There's no need. The Hebrews came. I don't think I saw any Christians. That's not to say that they weren't there, but I definitely saw Hebrews and Muslims, coming with you know what I'm saying? And it was, and I'm saying, if I was talking about Islam, it might make sense. You know what I'm saying? It might make sense. I wasn't talking about Islam, right? Just what I'm saying. So I'm saying that this is the dynamic that takes place. Now, my understanding is that the Quran does speak about pagans and heathens, non-believers, and when we speak of things like shirk, and forgive me if my pronunciation is off, I don't speak Arabic.
It's quite good,
What's it called? And haram, there are what's the word for misguidance or non-belief or kafir, and I think there's another one that is not in my head. Is it kafir and kufr the same thing?
Bidah.
Yes,
Yeah, some brothers like using it a lot,
Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all these kinds of things. There are things outside of Islam or the Abrahamic faith in particular that are characterized as this within the Quran, within the Bible, within the Torah. And so, well, I'm speaking to a Muslim, so specifically related to the Quran and the Hadith for that matter, aren't there prescriptions, in terms of how Muslims are supposed to relate to or view even non-believers? And when I say pagan and heathen now, using the English language, I'm saying that with the perspective that when it comes to what is pagan and what is heathen, African spiritual traditions have been demonized using those terminologies more than anything else in the world. So I'd imagine that you consider Hinduism paganism as well, to some degree.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I'm saying that as far as African spiritual systems, when the term pagan and heathen is used, there's a particular kind of unique vitriol towards it.
Connotation.
Yeah. In general, so whereas, for example, one might consider Hinduism pagan, I generally don't hear it considered devil worship, for example. Just I'm saying, where there are a number of African spiritual traditions that would largely be considered just straight devil worship.
Yes.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd like for you to, like, how does the Quran say? Because I'm not an expert on the Quran. I like that to you.
Okay,
so,
I think what it is I think we might be conflating two matters here.
Yeah.
Number one, somebody spreading hate or insulting one, I think is different to believing in something and trying to share that with the people and try to convey that message. So I think when we use the example, for example, because it seems like from your point of view it's coming across like, hold on a second, like humans, like the Abrahamic religions, be it Christians or Muslims, you guys came to us and you guys started doing this, so you can't really blame us for coming back and rebutting that. You get it? Yeah, we're saying actually there's no problem with that. There's no problem with you coming from your perspective and explaining to us why that is, why you believe, okay, we are wrong, and we can do the same. But the problem that we have is insults, or for example, dehumanizing a certain group of people. So we're saying, I think it's right for everyone. For example, Islamically, Islam has come to spread the message to the world. But there is no compulsion in religion. Surah Baqarah verse 256 makes that clear. It says truth is clear from falsehood. So there is no compulsion in religion. No one can force. However, just like other empires, Islamic empire did expand. However, like other empires where they went in, there was bloodshed of men, women, innocent people. It was more, materialism, etc. Islam is not there. Islam's one aim goal is that when they're expanding the empire is growing. There are three options for the fighting men. You either accept Islam, you either pay the jizya, or we fight you. Now, what that means is the following. They are talking about the fighting army. So they're saying, look, we're expanding our kingdom. And this is going to happen. It's happened with the Byzantines, it happened with the Persians, it's bound to happen. Even maybe in Africa. So the thing here is, they're saying, look, we'll give you an option. Accept Islam. It's not in the context of you better accept Islam. Why don't you accept Islam? You don't want it? Okay, we will charge jizya. Now jizya, different scholars differ. Some say it's just for the Christians and the Jews and the Magians, and Magians are known as pagans. And this can go down the route maybe to the black spiritualists, etc., that they can pay jizya and live under the Islamic rule. Some say no. And some say this is specifically for the pagan Arabs in Arabia. They had to get out. So these are the options. Now this is for the fighting men. Now why is it for the fighting men?
Sorry, just to clarify. Jizya is a form of tax,
Yes, it's
and it's a form of tax that Muslims, in terms of Muslims who are in authority, relate to non-Muslims who they preside over.
So basically what they're ruling over, so for example, when different empires ruled, they would the tax would be crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. So Islamically, each soldier would have to pay 1 dinar per year.
Yes.
Yeah. 1 gold coin per year.
Yes.
So the reason why that's there is because at the end of the day, they would also benefit from the treasury.
Yes.
So once Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh saw one of the second caliphs of Islam,
Yes.
saw a Jewish man,
Yes.
and he was begging, he was blind.
Yes.
He said, which religion are you from? He said,
Yes.
I'm Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, why are you begging? He said,
Yes.
because I have to pay jizya. He said, firstly,
Yes.
you shouldn't be paying jizya because
Yes.
you're old.
Right.
You're not like a soldier.
Right.
Number two,
Yeah.
we should be looking after you.
Yeah.
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 So the whole point of that thing, the jizya is to from the fighting men only. Because we have another concept. Some people see this as, you guys are basically belittling the disbelievers and you're charging them. Because if that was the case, Islamically we have a concept called zakah,
Yes.
which is the
charity.
second principle or third principle. Yeah. It's a form of charity, but it's tax,
Yes.
and it's for the men and the women,
Yes.
and some even say for the children.
Yes.
Yeah, that we have to pay 2.5%, not 1 dinar, 2.5% of my total earnings.
Yes.
That's much more than what the Christians and the Jews and the pagans that we deem to be paying.
Yes.
So just to clarify that it's not a tax that's just because you're a disbeliever. So when we come to spread the message of Islam,
Yes.
the reason they fight the army is because if the army is stopping from the message from reaching the people,
Yes.
we're going to fight you,
Yes.
so the people can hear it with their own mind and make their own decision. If you stop
That
us,
doesn't make no sense. So first of all, jizya. You're saying that are you saying that jizya was specific to military men?
Yes.
So not people in general.
No.
So not civilizations, empires in general.
no, it's for the fighting soldiers, men.
Okay. I'm thinking that in my head, I'm gonna have to clarify this. That what you're saying would not apply to certain empires in Africa, such as Mali, such as Songhai, such as when Usman Dan Fodio tried to impose the Sokoto Caliphate. I don't think strictly military men were subject to jizya.
But should
but
have been. Then he's
maybe so. I'll research it some more,
Yeah, yeah.
and maybe we'll have this conversation
it should be.
on a future date.
Yeah, it should be.
But I cut you though, so maybe.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying is to go to these lands and to spread the message of Islam, which we believe is from God Almighty and is the truth.
Yes.
I think that should be allowed. However, to go and insult.
Yes.
So even Islam ruled in different empires.
Yes.
In Egypt,
Yes.
there was no insult or statues being. Like for example, if you go in Egypt today, they still have these certain statues.
And they're being destroyed as well
Yeah.
by Muslims.
As far as I know,
Muslim and pagans.
some
Yeah.
I heard, but Islamically is it allowed? Because if that was the case in Egypt, most of them would have disappeared. So that's why there's a discussion going on. Like, why wasn't it? If that was the case.
A lot has disappeared. That's the point. We're not dealing with a situation whereby the history was kept intact
Yeah.
in its entirety. Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so they destroyed some. Also, we have to contend with the fact that while they were trying to destroy, there were people also trying to protect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and also the fact that it's difficult to destroy a massive pyramid. You know what I'm saying? For
No,
example.
not pyramid, but there's
You get
like
me?
certain statues and things in place where.
Yeah,
it couldn't be destroyed.
but there's evidence.
There is a discussion.
And but it's more than a discussion because
Yeah.
there have been stories that have come out recently whereby people have gone places and been chipping off,
Yeah, well,
stone and you know what I'm saying.
That's the
right?
thing. You see, you have this thing because if you go to a church, you're not allowed to harm the church. You can't break the cross.
No, I hear that.
Even though-
But
yeah.
there's two things going on though, because at the same time as that is going on, the other side of it is that the government is feasting off of the massive commercial tourist value that is inherent within the fact that there are some wonders of the world that feature in that land.
No, but in Islamic time when Umar ibn Khattab was expanding his empire, I don't know if they came for tourism.
No, what I'm saying is today.
Yeah.
I'm saying
I'm
how they
talking
relate.
back then. I'm talking back then when they were in power.
Yeah.
They could have, and they didn't.
No, but they did. That's the point I'm trying to make. There was massive destruction, not just by Arabs, but the Greeks before them were destroying stuff, and you know what I'm saying.
I don't know
so
about
some stuff has remained.
Islamically, I don't know if that is permissible.
I'm not going to debate you on that.
Yeah.
What I will say is that has been the dominant characteristic in terms of our relationship. Now, the fact of the matter is, if you're saying that it is Islamic to bring your army to spread a religion, the question that I would have is why would that be necessary? In the sense of the fact that if you're saying the people that you're bringing the religion to, if you bring your army along with you, have a right to rise an army to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So the idea that we're going to bring our army and so that the people can themselves are not obstructed in their capacity to hear the religion
Yes.
seems to be counterintuitive and counterproductive. You don't need an army if you're just going out to teach and to spread a religion. And the fact of the matter is, there is no, I don't know of a Muslim country that would allow people to come of another faith to come in with the express purpose of spreading a different religion, and as a part of that endeavor, they bring their army. I think that if that happened, for example, as we see today, you know what I'm saying, when the West invades, and oftentimes when it comes to America, the people that invade come with a Christian ideology.
Exactly. That's the nature of war. So does you see what I'm saying?
But Muslims, are not favourable to that. They don't believe it's correct that a majority Christian nation, even though in some of these nations they have a thing called separation of church and state, where they try to, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying, pretend that that's the case, But the idea is that you do not have the right to come with your army and impose your beliefs, your religion, your political system, your economic systems upon us. So I don't see why, and if it is Islamic, it is no more justified, if that makes sense.
I would say it depends on the perspective that we look at. Look, every single army and empire would want to expand their empire.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
From the get-go,
I don't know about that.
We know that from history, because if you don't, you either you're doing it or somebody else doing it.
Show me the correlation between Islam as a religion and Islam as an empire.
No, it's one. We don't have state and religion separate. It's one.
Right. So we're talking about nation state, nationhood, as far as from an Islamic perspective, comes hand in hand with the religion.
Exactly.
Right. Now I'm saying that so when we're talking about, in that sense, when we're talking about Islam, then we cannot divorce Islam from the people that practice the religion.
Of course.
Right? So the people that practice the religion are a manifestation of the religion in this particular sense. They're trying to build a state, nation, right?
Yes.
So we're talking about, so my point in saying that is, when you're talking, because I share that in the sense of when you invade, especially groups in African tradition, when you are invading their land, you're invading their culture, right, and their spiritual system. We don't have a separation between the peoplehood and their spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, for example, you might call it local gods, from an Abrahamic perspective. But if you to say Yoruba, to say Yoruba is to speak of the Ifa spiritual system. You know what I'm saying? To say Akan is to speak of a spiritual system as well as a people group. So I'm saying that when you invade a land with a religion, with the intention, there's no reason to invade other than to impose. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that sensibility that we've seen, from the year 637 AD, which is when Islam invaded, North Africa, that sensibility seems to have replicated itself and perpetuated itself from that time until now, in terms of the fact that people feel that they have a right, to come and condemn and also impose and disrespect. Just what I'm saying. The fact to say that we're not allowed to disrespect. The act of invasion is inherently an act of disrespect.
Okay, let me put it like this. Look, what we're saying is, to explain in context, every empire, even today, has it's like innate that you have to survive. You either are the strongest, or you're going to be eaten up. Now, different empires have different policies when it comes to that. So in Islam, we have a strict policy. You cannot harm innocent men, women, and children. You cannot harm the trees. You cannot harm places of worship. Now, different people. So what we do is, I think we'll do a false comparison of for example, the colonial age. And we take that. If we take that and equate that to Islam, I would say it would be unfair. However, was there bad Muslims that did bad things and didn't go according to Islam and killed men, women, and children? Yes, it did happen.
But the problem with what you're saying is that you're saying that it is Islamic to invade in order to spread the religion. So I'm saying the act of invasion is an act of harm in and of itself. You don't invade and not harm.
No, of course.
Invasion is harm.
No, of course.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, let's say there's an empire, African empire, The African empire will do exactly the same thing if they want to expand the empire.
However,
because they have to.
Let's say you're correct.
What's the objective? So I'm saying, no, it's not a matter of being correct. If we look at all these empires, they move. They have a strategic way of moving.
The problem with what you're saying is that you can't proclaim a superior religion from the Creator and then reduce the activities of those who adhere to that religion to the general way in which humans interact. So even if you're correct that sorry, I was just sorry. Yeah. Listen and learn.
You might need your input.
Listen and learn. I'll give him the option. If Uncle Danjuma comes in, it's a different conversation, though.
I would.
It's a different conversation I'm having with Uncle Danjuma. It's a different conversation I'm having with Uncle Danjuma.
It has to be mutual. I think carry on until I can hear something.
Okay. But we need you to be close so you can hear us. Yeah.
I'm around.
Yeah.
So Dawuud also keep an eye.
Yeah, it seems to me to be a fundamental contradiction.
Oh, sorry.
What's that, sorry?
Sorry, sister, you want to go? You can go. You don't want to get past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. It seems to me to be a fundamental contradiction in that sense to talk about the fact that this is the religion of the Most High Creator of the universe, who allows this within the context of just how humans behave in general. Like they're supposed to be, and all Abrahamic religions can proclaim this, a superiority to the sense of this is the perfected human being can be found through the pursuit of attaining the principles, the precepts, of this particular religion. So it doesn't make sense to then equate that with just how empires act in general. And I'm not even agreeing with your assessment of how African empires acted. But
I don't know. Please educate me on that. Like I'll be honest, I'm here to actually learn.
That's fine. So
the thing is here, what I'm saying is that look, God knows us. He's created us.
Yes.
He knows our psychology.
Yes.
So therefore, if God is permitting something,
yes,
He knows that, for example, Islamically, if there is not an Islamic empire, you are going to be attacked. Now, the evidence for that is the fact that when Islam, the Prophet ﷺ came to the pagan Arabia, he was persecuted for 12 to 13 years. And what was he persecuted for?
Yes.
La ilaha illallah. Nothing more than that.
That's
what Allah says in the Quran in chapter 12 verse 13.
Yes.
They did not persecute you for no other reason but you say La ilaha illallah.
Yes.
So now we know from the get-go that you're going to have some structures, some political or whatever, etc. Methods in place to protect you. Because we saw very clearly men, women and children, Muslims, who were just saying, look, we believe in God alone. Who were persecuted. So, therefore, I believe if it was an African empire, like Mansa Musa, massive empire, people can talk about it. One of the most wealthiest mans ever, So, if he had an empire, he has a right, or let's suppose, Mansa Musa, let's say somebody who's an African spiritualist. He knows in order for him to retain his culture, he needs to defend his land, number one. Number two, he has a right to expand it. However, why not? If you believe what you're on, like I believe Islam is the best way of life, and I want to share it with everyone. However,
I don't have no problem with sharing.
Okay, good. So let me make a just explain, because I don't want you to feel like Islam came in a way where we've come here, because you said, okay, the fact that you're coming to our land is disrespect. To invade, to visit. But what you're saying to me is that according to the faith, Allah allows invasion for the purpose of spreading the religion. And I'm saying that there is no invasion without harm. Okay, let me put context. Islamically, how America invades, how the Romans invaded, how the colonial, the post-colonial, the British and the rest invaded, and how Islam's policy is two separate things.
Okay. Now, maybe you're correct, right? I'll let you finish.
Because I don't want to get like a wrong perception. Islam's message is what? They're not going there for the money or the wealth, etc. They're going there, because if it was for the money, they will not charge 1 dinar or whatever it may be for the fighting men. They are going to spread the message of Islam. This is done following. A letter will be written. We would like to invite you to Islam. Because this is sometimes construed as, hey, you better accept Islam. It's not like that, because then there's choice being given. You say, I don't want to accept Islam. I'm a black spiritualist and I want to carry on. No problem. We have a tax in place. Because if we are expanding our empire, we know that, for example, we're going to be running the area. So imagine, if I say come and see you know what? Hyde Park, I've just taken over it. You come here, you do your thing every Thursday, that's calm. I would like you to pay me £10 a week. And you've been paying already to the other empire, probably £500. I want £10, So in that context, you're thinking, fam, let me be, do what you like, £10 a week, stay away from me. So Islamically, when this comes to do that, then it will come and tell people, okay, this is Islam. People will say, you know what, I don't like that. I'm having my black spiritualism and I'm doing voodoo or whatever it may be. I'm happy with that. Thank you very much. Now, Islamically, the black magic aspect is a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But as your faith, Islamically, we're not here to come and say, yo, listen, we're here. This is what's about to happen.
Sorry.
You-
Delve into that. What's the black magic aspect?
Let's come to that after. I'm gonna wait. So when it comes to that means you have a right. There's contracts, for example, that was made by the Christians and the Jews.
Yes.
That it says in the name of Allah and His Messenger.
Yes.
Yeah. Their
Yes.
property, their church, their livelihood, their cattle.
Yes.
Everything is under the protection of Allah and His Messenger.
Yes.
Meaning, you're a Christian. You
Yes.
can eat pork, drink alcohol.
Yes.
Do what you like.
Yes.
Because you're living your dhimmi.
Yes.
Not only that, the Prophet peace be upon him said, if anybody harms somebody, a non-Muslim that has a contract with the Muslims,
Yes.
they will not smell the fragrance of paradise. So we as Muslims are being threatened. If you go against the rights and oppress the dhimmi,
Yes.
you are in trouble.
Clarify this
So
for me.
do you get it? Yeah.
When you just said it, in terms of contract here,
Yeah.
Allah is bound
Yes.
by the contract that the followers of the believers of Allah
Yeah.
make with other human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, okay,
so,
no,
so
okay.
if me and you have a contract,
Yeah.
yeah, or you're representing a group of Muslims,
Yes.
let's say a government of Muslims,
Yes.
a caliphate, so
Yes.
to speak,
Yeah.
and I'm representing another group,
Yeah.
and you make a contract with me,
Yes.
as a Muslim,
Yes.
Allah is bound
Yes.
to respect
Yeah.
and abide by that contract.
Okay, let me rephrase it.
Yes,
Because I remembered something. We can't say Allah
yes,
and His Messenger.
Right.
Because I was studying this. The reason we can't say Allah and His Messenger, we can start with the name of Allah and His Messenger.
Yes.
Because if I come and say to you, this is a contract between you, Allah and His Messenger, and then I violate your rights, you're
Okay.
because then I'm gonna blame worthy God.
Yeah.
God hasn't done anything.
Right.
I as a Muslim have fallen short.
Yeah.
So that's why we're saying in the name of God and His Messenger.
Yes.
Yeah. In the name of Allah.
No. But
and
as long as you abide by the contract.
Yes. No.
right?
Shall I tell you something?
Yeah.
In Islam,
Yes.
if there is one thing the Prophet emphasized on is to keep to your contract.
Right. So I'm saying,
It's a major,
that's fine.
major
That's fine. So as long as you abide by the contract,
So if
I am
yes.
under the protection of Allah
Yes.
because of the contract that you made with me.
Yes. So you know what
Right.
that means? You know what that means?
Yes.
In the agreement, so for example, there will be certain Christian subgroups who will live under the Islamic Empire that were oppressed by the Byzantines.
Yes.
The Muslims have an agreement that they will protect you
Yes.
against enemies.
So they have protection from
Yeah,
Allah.
so if the Crusaders come
Yes.
to attack the black spiritualists
Yes.
living under the Islamic rule,
Yes.
there's beef.
Right.
So what we will say to you guys is this:
Right.
you're fighting men, you
Right.
have to come and join us.
Yes.
Or if they don't want to join us, there might be different. I think the scholars say different things that they can do. So, for example, there were some
Yeah.
Christians who said we will keep guard on certain posts to see if the enemy's coming.
Right.
And the Islamic ruler didn't ask for nothing, no jizya.
Yes.
So what will happen is you can say
Because the jizya was being paid by
Exactly,
protection.
exactly.
Right. But we're not dealing with a fundamental point.
so whoever's got beef with you, they got beef with us.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But there's another term for that though, you know.
Uncle, please correct me if I say anything wrong.
in our
modern, getting a bit,
in our modern day reality,
Yeah.
there's another term for that.
Yeah.
It's called extortion and gangsterism.
It depends
Right?
how
That's
you
what
take
it is.
Depends how you take it.
Because I've seen this. I was watching. Yeah, you haven't seen
Godfather,
Power?
what is
No.
it?
That too. But I was watching Power the other day.
Yeah.
Right? You watch Power, yeah? Right. And a sister wanted to open up a daycare center.
Yeah.
On a particular road.
Yeah.
And one day a guy came up to her and says,
Yeah.
Imagine, if you're gonna exist around here,
Yeah.
you gotta pay me.
It's called extortion racket.
Called extortion.
Racket, yeah.
So I'm saying now, even outside of religion,
Yeah.
if a nation comes into another nation,
Yes.
there is no natural law,
Or justification, you say.
under which it is just to impose a system of taxation upon a nation that is not yours. It would be just if, because of the persecution that Muhammad and his followers faced, to fight those who persecuted them.
Yes.
I'm a person who doesn't believe in persecution, right? I want to attack persecution, and I would say it's completely reasonable, even to the death, if those people will protect themselves against those who were persecuting them by any means necessary, by any means necessary. But that is not the case when it comes to our relationship as African spiritualists with Islam. We don't have a situation of persecution.
Yes.
We have a situation of self-defense.
Yes.
Right, just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right, but not a situation of persecution. So my point is that, but you're saying to me at the moment that what was practiced at that time was actually Islamic, in the sense of that invasion, those invasions, and the nature in which they took place, right, or should I say the purpose for which they took place, because they were trying to spread the religion. So you accept Islam, or you pay the jizya,
Or we fight you.
right? And I'm saying now that rings true to the experience, you know what I'm saying? Accept, pay jizya, or we fight you.
But it depends how you in context. Because so for example, when it says accept, it depends how we look at it. If I come and say to you, you have to accept this Islam.
Yeah.
But if I say, would you like to accept Islam?
Yeah.
If you say no, then I say, look, you're gonna have to pay the jizya. If I come and say, you better pay the jizya. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is now.
So if I put a gun to your, if I put a gun to your head, I say, would you like to give me your wages this month?
No, that's.
Am I really giving you a choice?
You're right if it is done like that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the following: empires. This is human nature. We would all love it to be hunky-dory. We would love it. But God knows the true nature. And you have empires. And this is bound to happen. So the argument that you're bringing forth is to something that if the Muslim empire says, you know what, we don't want to expand, we'll stick to Arabia, but we know because the Byzantines were coming to invade Arabia, yeah? So we know from the get-go, look, either we're expanding or we're about to be diminished. Now, the way they go about it and the way we go about it are two separate things.
But it's not though. It is. Because the Christian came, the Europeans come,
don't
and they said,
them. Don't criticize them.
No, but I have to.
No, you can't. Crusaders were savage.
But based upon your own analysis, I'm not comparing them based upon my own thing, you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the idea of convert, yes, pay, or we fight you, yes, is not dissimilar from how the European Christian came.
It is.
Explain it to me.
It is because,
what's the difference?
like I said before, it depends on how you're looking at it.
Remember, I'm not telling you how the Muslims came. You're telling me how the Muslims came.
I'm telling you. Look, look, I'll be honest with you. You can. If you can, But it's just made this point. I'm saying that global empires, even America today,
But bro, we're talking about a religion.
No, I'm talking about religion,
Yeah. And we're saying that, and I'm not. I don't have a problem with the religion being related to a nation state. I believe that's purely that's perfectly normal and organic, in human history. What I am saying is that if a religion claims to be from the Most High Creator, to judge it just by the actions of men goes against the claims of the religion. This is supposed to be something that is superior, superior moral character. And so,
but it was
because I don't understand how you differentiate the persecution that Muhammad was facing at the beginning of Islam for proclaiming the one God. To what people who claim to be Muslims put those African spiritualists through.
No.
Because I'm not. But based upon your own analysis, I'm not talking about bad Muslims. I'm talking about Muslims. If you because first of all, if you come and say convert, pay tax, or we fight you, that is persecution. That's persecution because you are coming against me to fight me for what it is I say I stand for.
No. Because it's very simple. When it comes to this matter, even if you are not expanding, like for example your empire, and you're not like America, they've got nukes. Israel's got nukes. Certain countries got nuclear bombs.
What's the point?
Atomic bombs.
There was no nuclear bomb in
exactly.
647
that's
AD.
my point. For every empire and every nation, if you do not have things on control, you are bound to go through the oppression. So in order to stop the oppression, you have to have these measures in place. The way different empires went about it in different ways is not the comparison to Islam. So if an empire went and killed men, women and children and robbed the whole place up, you cannot compare that to an Islamic empire that says, look, we would like to invite you to Islam. You don't want to? Okay, you will have to pay the jizya. Why?
But I can because that's what they did.
But look, once again,
that's what they did.
You might be
the European comes. He says convert to Christianity. Yeah.
No.
That's what he says.
He says you have to convert to Christianity.
But I'm saying, you're when you say that, you're playing with semantics and language.
No.
Because you're creating an illusion of choice.
No.
You are. Because there is not.
No,
because
you just find hard to believe that Islam has that mercy.
No. It's not that, you know.
Yeah.
Because mercy, real mercy, is would you like to come to my faith, or
that's what it says.
Would you like to keep what you were practicing right about now?
That's what Islam says.
That's a choice.
No, that's what Islam
That's
says.
a choice. That's a choice. I can't remember. That's a choice. That is an actual choice.
Yeah.
Yes. An illusion of choice is me coming to you with a gun to your head and saying, would you like to give me everything that's in your pocket right about now as far as money is concerned?
False comparison.
Am I giving you no, but it's not.
You're right if you
convert,
say that. Convert,
pay,
yes,
or we fight you. So I'm saying to you, would you like? Yeah?
Would
you like? That's my question, you know.
No, but they did.
Right, so give me.
Yes. I'll give you an example of Christians, for example.
May I just say something?
Go ahead, bro.
There's something that you might not know.
Yes.
but
I'm close. I'm just going to put you up.
so basically, Islamic history.
Yes.
Like when I start looking into it.
Yes.
One of the things one of my teachers was saying is that you need a iman pill, like a belief.
Imam pill.
Yeah. Before you start reading it, because you will find a lot of atrocities committed by Muslims.
Right.
Because it's just very horrible history.
Right.
You know. So that's something I want to acknowledge first.
Right.
And then secondly, when the Arabs came to Baghdad and Persia, actually one of the things the Arabs weren't doing was converting people. They didn't want people to convert because they were benefiting off the taxation.
Right.
So this is something also.
Is that Islamic as well?
It's not at all, but,
Right, okay.
but that's what was taking place.
Right.
So you had a class
Yes.
of overlords
Yes.
who were the Arabs.
Yes.
And then you had everyone beneath them, and the same thing that happened in North Africa.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
And that's why there's so many revolts in North Africa.
Right.
The Berbers.
Yes.
I think they revolted against the Muslims 12 times
Yes.
before they fully
Yes.
accepted.
Yes. All hell Al-Qaeda. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna have to be honest here
Yes.
and say that Islamic history is very difficult to,
All right.
to
Let
handle.
me explain to you how we got here.
Yeah.
Leon actually initiated this conversation because he was saying that he notices, because I proclaim indigenous African spirituality. Yeah. So and he notices that because I'm one of the few who proclaim that. In a broad sense. So you have people that proclaim Kemet. I proclaim more than just Kemet, right? Yeah. But there's a certain level of disrespect, even especially uninitiated disrespect that is faced when one proclaims that, right? So he was saying this, and he wanted to invite Ali Dawah for a conversation on these matters. Yeah. So Ali Dawah is explaining, the way in which Muslims are supposed to relate. Yeah. You're not supposed to disrespect, right? You're not supposed to so on and so forth.
Taking a picture.
That's right. Right? But then he's explaining that Muslims, he's explaining how you're supposed to spread Islam Islamically, and he related a military to that, right? Just what I'm saying. So he's saying, well, the military is only there because so that the people can get the message unimpeded by the military of the other side. Yeah. But I'm explaining now. But from my perspective, the act of invasion is an act of disrespect. There's no way you can invade me respectfully. Yeah. Okay. There's no way you can invade.
Resistance.
Yeah. There's no way you can invade without harm. So the idea that you're going to bring a military, just in case my military wants to defend themselves, so that the rest of the people can hear the message, is nonsense to me. Yeah. Now he's saying that all empires behave in this way, 100%. But I'm saying coming from
that's the way Islam did.
Yeah.
They behave in animals.
In terms of expansion, they need to expand. But I'm saying that that idea. Seems to be counterintuitive based upon the claims of the religion. So I'm saying if you're saying that I'm coming last sentence. If you're saying that your religion is a superior religion from Allah, yes, to judge it based upon the acts of men is insufficient to the claims of the religion. Now I might do that because I don't come from a spiritual system that says it has the exclusive word of God. So the human deficiency is catered for in that respect. I don't make that claim. You'll never see me say that the Medjugorje on the walls of Kemet or in papyri is the word of the Most High Creator. It's not a claim that I make. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not seeing the correlation there, but you want to make a point. Sorry.
Let me ask something. You know when the Muslims came here, before they came, a letter was sent.
He said that already.
No, I've told him.
So in that sense, it kind of defeats your argument.
Let me ask you all this. Imagine I'm the leader, of an African nation, and I send a letter to Saudi Arabia, let's say, for example, and say convert to Ifa, convert to Ifa. Pay the equivalent of Jizya, or we're going to come and invade. And we may have superior military, whatever. How are Muslims going to react to that?
No problem. Look, we're either going to accept it, we're either going to pay the Jizya and say to you, you know what, look, we'll pay you, let us just practice our religion, or we're going to fight you.
Right.
I think.
So the thing is here that we're going to go. The option. Sorry,
but would not every Muslim around the world, see that as an act of disrespect?
No.
That I'm going to come. And presume that I have the right. But you will fight because of disrespect. But second.
Shut. Brothers, 1 second.
I'm going to come back to that.
What about if it is the
I'm going to come back to that.
Bro, 1 second. No, the point is this. Look, Shaq.
Yes.
What it is that we're saying to you that this has been implemented
Yes.
by all nations. What you're saying is a world that is like, you know,
you can't say it's been implemented by all nations at the same time as you're saying that the Islamic was different to everybody else.
The Romans, all of them,
but you can't make that comparison. I'm hearing you, but you can't make that comparison with Romans and Persians at the same time as you're saying that the Islamic was different to everybody else.
100%,
But you're saying those two things at the same time.
No.
And it's a contradiction.
I'm
the
saying
devil's in the details here.
I agree with you.
No. I'm saying, look, every empire,
Yes.
by the get-go, even the Black Spiritualist Empire,
Yes.
if they had the power in Africa,
Yes.
they would want to expand that. And I would never
Which
say.
they have, which
I
they
don't know
have.
which
Empires have expanded it in Africa. Listen,
I can't
let
say.
me give you an example. Let me
You
give you an example.
serve
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Yeah, you see, ancient Kemet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned Kemet earlier, right? Now we've heard of the term Amun-Ra, yeah, and at different times, different groups of people were the so-called ruling class, let's say, or the head in leadership. Yeah. What often happened, is for example, we see that as far as I understand history, Ra is northern, Kemet. Amen is southern. Things happen, people battle, whatever. Those two deities were brought together to make Amun-Ra. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right? So both of those indigenous systems were respected, and it just so happens that they were similar enough that they could coexist and even merge, right, to some degree. You know what I'm saying? You have other examples. For example, like Shaka Zulu, my namesake. All right, when he was expanding, and he was not like, whereas the Zulu had a spiritual system, Shaka was not the most religious individual. Right, but there was a situation in which European invasion was imminent and a present reality, and there were people that were more susceptible to falling under the authority of the Europeans. So Shaka used to invade and say, listen, either you join the thing, fall in line with the thing, or it's problems for you, my G.
It's a boom thing.
Right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's problems, right? I'm saying these things do exist, I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
The difference is, Shaka was dealing with a situation in which people were coming in to invade. So his expansion was a protection against a foreign invading force. Does that make sense?
That's my point.
No, but
that's my point.
Historically, that's not accurate.
challenge me, uncle.
Historically, you are referring to the time of Setiswayo, not the time of Shaka. At the time of Shaka, the threat was the Dutch Boera.
That's what I said, Europeans.
No, there were a handful of people with the odd few guns who were about to cross the Transkei and the Transvaal rivers. But they were mostly at that time fighting with the Xhosa, not the Zulu. The time of Shaka Zulu, there was no immediate threat from the European in the way you are presenting it.
Uncle, Shaka is 1800s.
The threat from the English fought against Satwala. That was at the time of Setiswayo. That is when
Before or after Shaka?
Actually was a little mad.
I'm not saying, listen.
Shaka was like Idi Amin.
Listen, and that's no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
He was a military genius.
Yes.
He transformed the spear to the assegai.
Yes.
The short stabbing sword.
Yes.
He transformed war to a form of war that part of Africa. You know, I shouldn't be talking
it was no, you're right. It was before Shaka. It was mostly ceremonial. War was mostly ceremonial in the region.
War in Africa is normally fought at that time,
which is the point I was gonna make.
Young children to help you cultivate your land and to become part of your group. Shaka turned it into the way Europeans fight wars. Kill.
But why though? What was the motivation? That's what I'm questioning.
Shaka decided that it was time to weld these people into a nation. Just like Genghis Khan. There are certain leaders that arise with a notion that, you know something, this lacks discipline. He taught them to run without shoes. He said, don't wear sandals.
Thorns.
Thorns. Right? Now, Shaka was the sort, you get leaders who arrive, and this is a sidebar to your discussion. Let me come back out because I just wanted to,
You don't agree with my assessment of Shaka?
No, that bit there. But because you're talking about empires, I shouldn't be interrupting. I'm sorry. Last interrupt. No, I don't like doing interrupting.
I want to learn. Uncle.
No, because I think you're making a big ask, and I know the ask. The big ask is, if Islam makes the claim to be so superior, why are the men behaving badly?
No, it's not even that, I'm saying, he's saying that it's Islamic, and he's saying that this is how empires behave. So I'm saying you can't compare it to how empires behave if you're saying that Islam is a superior religion.
No, it's not.
But I just said that.
I
just said you're asking if this is meant to be so above the rest of humankind, why are these Muslim men behaving badly?
Yes.
And to me, first
No,
of all...
sorry. I'm not saying why is Muslim men behaving badly. I'm saying why is it Islamic? If Islamic, because he's saying that it's Islamic, you know.
Yeah.
So he's not saying that the Muslims were behaving badly.
No, it's Islamic.
He's saying that it's Islamic. Yeah. So I'm saying that if Islam is,
for example, to invite you, either come to Islam, you pay the Jizya, or we fight you. Yeah. This is from Islam.
Oh, can we ask you this? Is that for all time?
That's what I was
That's-
trying to say.
So can I now call the Islamic State in Daesh?
No, it has to be done under a ruler. It's not for all. I've never said it's for all time. It has to be done under. I mean, I can't. That's why these
So
people.
if we had a ruler now, we can do it?
No. Who's the ruler? Who appointed it?
Because it's if.
Yeah.
If we had a ruler,
No.
could we do it?
If, for example, there is a caliphate,
Yes.
if there's a ruler, yeah, and we have Islamic lands, yeah, and for example, just as America is expanding its so-called view and imposing it on others, yeah, if there is a ruler at today's time, and if it says, for example, that we need to expand the empire, it doesn't have to be done in a war way. It can be done in diplomatic ways. But the expansion of the caliphate is there. It's in Islam.
Give me some examples to support this. Because I understood this to be contemporaneous rather than a point of doctrine. What I understood is you had Abu Bakr, no sooner the Prophet passed from this world, that the peoples of Arabia, especially the Najd, began to apostatize. And in apostasy, you're looking at politics, because with the moment the Prophet, and this is why I don't like discussing religion, you know me, because my views may be different to other people's. I see the Prophet moving from Mecca to Medina as becoming a jurist and a politician. The moment he moved and was asked to arbitrate, he became a jurist. Then he was put in charge, he is now a politician.
yes.
And politicians have to make decisions that will not please everyone.
Yes.
Exactly.
But they're now bringing societies together.
Yes.
So he made some decisions, okay, Arabia was now Islamic. The people of the Najd were never, the Bedou. Bedou are very resistant. Like in Somalia, how they are very, we have vociferous tendencies. Bedou are very single, very single man. Like the Masai, it's not just Arabia.
I'm joking,
the Masai are the same.
Yeah.
The Dinka of South Sudan are the same. What Evans Pritchard called their society is organized anarchy. They refuse to kowtow to a leader. So as soon as the Prophet passed from this world, the Arabian Peninsula apostatized. Abu Bakr brought them in hand.
Yes.
No sooner had he brought them in hand, he passed.
Yeah.
Now, you had leaders looking at this from the Persian side. And from the north,
Romans.
you had, and the Roman
Letters
lackeys, the
written.
Nabatean kingdoms, Jerash and Patra. So you had
And Ghassan.
fifth columnists in the Arabian Peninsula working for the Romans. And down on my bit, Oman and Yemen, working for the Persians.
The Banu Bakr tribe, they're working
Exactly.
with the Byzantines.
So what it is these guys said, you know something? If this tree is not to die, we gotta act like these guys.
100%.
And they fought two militarily superior empires and brought them. Now, what I believe happened is this: once dominoes start to fall. How am I here, who pushed this one, gonna stop the domino at the furthest end? What happens is this, and I am agreeing with him to this extent, but I'm also agreeing with you, not for the purposes of fellowship. I believe my religion should be able to stand on its merit, the intellectual and the moral integrity. But I believe what happened at this point is a situation of empires clashing, and Islam saying if it's gonna survive. In other words, think about two boxers at the time of Mike Tyson, big. You had Spinks. You're too young to remember that.
I know, but I started thinking.
I want to get boxers.
Partly because he fought Muhammad Ali, so you know. I know
how
that,
can we go to Ali? But see, Ali was the big dude.
Yes, indeed.
But Tyson was the short, small man, and everybody underestimated him. He's the man who hit Trevor Berbick once, and Berbick fell down 3 times. He gotta be fell. Nobody. Tyson came from nowhere. And Islam is like that. Islam was the underestimated force.
But it didn't come from nowhere, though, Uncle.
Exactly.
With all due respect.
Exactly.
But it didn't come from nowhere, though.
Army that conquered Egypt had 4,000 men.
I understand what I mean.
That's a handful.
I understand what I mean. But it didn't come from nowhere. I understand what I mean. Islam is the last of a tradition of religions from Abraham.
I believe this,
that were dominant. That had become dominant in that region already, right? Just what I'm saying. So, and I'm saying that. There's a certain level of respect that Islam had already, because it was adhering to a religious tradition. Just what I'm saying.
Really. They were against it. The Jews were against it.
Listen, the Muslims were against the Christians and the Jews. I've already accepted. Remember earlier in the conversation that between those
not
Abrahamic
so much
religions,
against the Christians.
Yeah.
The Jewish disagreement was political too.
Yeah.
It was political,
but
and personally I regret what happened there.
Yeah,
with
but
the Jews.
we've already
other Muslims gonna hate me
no,
for
but
saying
I'm
that.
saying, okay,
But not all.
we've already accepted.
No,
we've
but
already
not all Jews.
accepted.
Banu Qurayza, Banu Nadir,
Yeah, but you don't kill all that many people.
No.
I felt sad killed too many people.
Uncle,
that's my personal belief.
No, but uncle, most
I
of the
don't wanna
tribes,
fight. I don't wanna fight.
most of
I
the
don't wanna
tribes,
fight.
most
I
of the
don't
Jewish
wanna
tribes adhered to the contract.
Yeah,
it was
I
Banu
know, I
Nadir,
understand.
Banu Qurayza, and Banu Kainuka who were attempting to
Okay, it's a
assassinate.
sidebar. Let's get his main point.
But you're saying contract though, yeah?
Can I say something?
Hold on, you're saying contract though, yeah? Right? You know, you're giving me the Godfather contract right about now.
No,
yeah?
I
No,
haven't.
you are. You're saying it's an offer you can't refuse.
But
isn't it?
Islam
Yeah?
was small.
A contract.
No, but you gotta understand. I
Uncle,
am making a contract with you,
Is
but I'm
marriage a
smaller than
contract?
you.
Is marriage a contract?
No, forget that for a
A
minute.
marriage is a contract, yeah. So what is the value of let's say I want to marry a woman.
Yeah.
What is the value of the contract?
That's
Well,
a
first you have to be
socio-economic
Muslim.
contract.
No.
That's a socio-economic contract.
Right? What's it called?
I could be married
But-
because I want your family's titles and land.
Oh, yeah,
So
tribe,
I'm married for,
yeah.
I could be married for the sake of peace at war, stopping war.
Political.
A whole bunch of because she hot.
Yes.
For a bunch of reasons.
Right. So
Yeah?
do we differentiate then between a contract that is signed upon mutual agreement, equal power, you know what I'm saying, and them kind of
but
things
that's
there?
dreams.
Or a contract is not a dream.
Like the Bact in Nubia when we gave the Arab
lost
slaves.
we actually
when
lost
we
as well.
won the battle and gave the
Define we.
Nubians.
But they lost a few
Okay,
times as
maybe
well,
not
Sheikh.
because I'm not a Christian and the Nubians were Christians. But the Nubians fought the Arabs.
The Arabs
defeated
lost
them
actually a few times as
They
well.
lost, and then they still decided by mutual agreement
Yes.
to hand over slaves
Yes.
to the Arabs. Now, that contract, in my opinion, created a demand for slaves,
For slaves,
in which we, as Africans, are complicit.
Let's put the slavery thing to the
You
side.
ask about agreements.
No, I know.
Well,
What
let's
I'm
go
saying
back to
is-
your main
but
point,
once
your
again,
moral
that's what I'm
point.
trying to say,
Let's
because
go right back to your main point.
the argument
Yeah.
began with talking about how people in Abrahamic religions view and relate to other traditions, specifically African spiritual traditions, right? So I'm saying the slavery point is important, but I'm saying it's a side point in the context of this conversation at the moment. So I'm saying that, and yes, bearing in mind that Nubia at that time, because of the Roman influence, had converted to Christianity, right? But my point is that there's a respectability.
But it was peaceful though. Nubians became Christian.
Yeah, but it's peaceful in as much as it would be peaceful if somebody comes and writes you a letter and says convert, pay the jizya, or we're gonna fight you.
Yes
if
and
I pay the jizya,
All right.
it's
what
peaceful.
did-
No,
okay.
jizya.
What is the jizya though? The issue here is that what is jizya?
Hold on, but you've already defined jizya. What I'm saying is,
but
hold on.
what is it?
What I'm saying is, jizya is the peaceful option in among those choices.
Yeah.
So if I pay it, it's peace.
Yeah.
I'm no less oppressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm no less occupied by a foreign invading army. Yeah. Because the moment,
The point
for
of
example,
Nubia- the point of Nubia doesn't hold.
what force under that authority? Under that government, let's say, ensures that the jizya is paid.
Okay.
what you mean?
Can I ask?
Yeah, the rule of, but who enforces that though?
Let me just ask this first. Now,
Yeah.
I think we have to look at the spectrum of this. This is on this most extreme expression.
Yes.
But now let's look at. I could come to you and say, look, we are Romans.
Yes.
We occupy
Yes.
Greece.
Yes.
You to the south are Nubia.
Yes.
We have just become Christians. We are not Copts.
Yes.
We've just become Christians.
Yes.
We would prefer to enhance our trading relationship with a fellow Christian nation.
Yes.
In my opinion, if those Nubians said, well, let me read this Christian, it makes sense, I become a Christian. I don't call that force. No, you could call it moral pressure.
But that's not what we're talking about though.
No, I know what you're saying, but you were talking about Nubia. We invoked Nubia just now.
Yes.
And in the case of Nubia, like for example, if you read the Bible, we all went to Sunday school, we read the story of Philip and the eunuch.
But my point is, Uncle, when it comes to Christianity and Nubia, we have to consider the fact that at that time, the nation north of Nubia was occupied since 525 BC by Greeks and then Romans, yeah?
But they were not Abrahamic though. None of these people.
No. They became Abrahamic after a certain point. My point is that
the Persians were 525 BC. The Assyrians was 663.
Right, and then the Greeks and the Romans.
525.
My point is that
324. Romans 42.
Right.
Arabs 640.
All of that. Yeah. My point is that from that time till now, it was under the authority of foreigners. Yeah. So I'm saying that at different points, the dominant foreign ideology had the dominant influence in the area. Right. And Nubia was the last stand in that sense, because Nubia wasn't having none of it for a long period of time until under the Romans it succumbed to certain pressure. I don't see it.
We have no historical evidence that Nubia was Christianized by force.
No, I didn't say by force, you know. I didn't say by force.
Then it's okay then. It's cool. That's
no,
cool.
I'm saying.
Suppose I want to be a Christian. Suppose Akhenaten,
that can happen.
in ancient Egypt.
Uncle, that can happen.
Akhenaten, Amenhotep IV.
Yeah.
Here's Amenhotep IV saying, you know something? All these little nomarchs, these little towns with priests, are like mini Meccas.
But
they're all hustling.
Amenhotep wasn't a Christian though.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm making a point about monotheism.
I know.
Yes, you know.
I know you do. I've heard that Amenhotep.
He is saying, look at all these little areas in Egypt, creating their little Meccas and hustling, and what you have was centrifugal forces. He wants to unite the Kemet. So he says, look, you see all of these little priests hustling the little corners, they're pulling the kingdom apart. One God, the best represented by the sun disk, the Ammon.
But Uncle, you and I both know that Akhenaten...
If Akhenaten voluntarily wants to do this, should we say to Akhenaten he doesn't have that right?
The difference is that Akhenaten is developing something out of the sensibilities, of the people that he's living amongst. He's not responding necessarily, and you and I both know, Uncle, that if we're gonna invoke Akhenaten, he's very controversial within the history of Kemet, because many people believe that he was a divisive figure, right? The people that believe that.
He may not, but did he intend to be divisive?
He may not, But people, I'm very well aware that people that adhere to Abrahamic religions, Islam in particular, I've come to realize, have a particular affinity towards Akhenaten.
Yes, we love.
Right? Affinity, right?
I know.
So all kinds of justification are gonna come. And I'm not
My card's on the table because I believe in one God.
But I'm not anti-Akhenaten, you know. And I'm even gonna go as far as to say that the idea that prior to Akhenaten there was not a one God concept is fallacious. It's fallacious,
so
right?
Was there a concept of the one God?
So, all right, you're asking me a theological question now. Yes, there was, but
okay.
I'm saying.
Let
me hold on. Because I'm saying that even within the traditions, because I'm saying that it's inherent, within the traditions,
Abrahamic traditions.
Yes, to disrespect, and you're no, but like I said,
disrespect,
invasion. There is no. Listen,
where in Islam?
Listen.
You're back to the point of the disrespect.
1 second. Where in Islam does it say disrespect the religion? Islam says.
If it says invade,
we do.
If it says
we
invade,
do look down on pagans.
there is no respectful invasion.
We do it.
But does it say to disrespect?
It doesn't exist.
But what do you say? He does have a point. We have a tendency to do this.
But
I go to Yoruba Ifa ceremonies.
I know.
They don't bother me. They know I'm a Muslim. I wear white. They say Omo Obatala. You know the Obatala people, they don't drink alcohol. They wear white. Friday is their holy day. They say so what they do is they create a space for us within the religion which you mentioned called Ifa just now. They do. And I grew up in Trinidad and I witnessed these as a child growing up in those ceremonies. However, what he is saying is we not only do not create that sacred space for them, we look down on them. And he does have a point.
I'll give you an example. Can I give another example? One more example,
I don't like
West Africa.
No, we do, and I don't like it.
West Africa.
I have to clarify because the thing
is,
the reason why, because if every time I make a point, if it gets
no,
I swear not, forgive me. I'm not talking about you. No, I'm talking about Robbie.
It's fine.
No, the reason why I'm saying is because I'm saying something, it's being misconstrued. Before I can clarify the topics,
that's fair. Correct. That's fair.
People are thinking, okay, I didn't mean that. I'll repeat again.
Clarify.
Islamically, we are not told to insult other people's deities. Do Muslims do it? Yes. Do they look down on pagans? Yes. However, we are not told to go to your God and be like, oh, you're so stupid, but why are you worshipping a statue? We are.
You know what? I'm not interested.
So therefore,
I'm less concerned about that. You know, listen. From my perspective, I'm less concerned about that. You could laugh at my God. You know, you could do that.
No.
If you invade, we've got a problem.
No, okay.
Seriously, you laughing and cussing.
But I can defend that. I can't defend the insulting.
Exactly.
But I can defend the invasion.
Why?
I
On
can
what
defend
basis?
the invasions.
On what basis?
I defend the invasions. Come on, man, where's my greeting?
There's a bit of history I haven't mentioned that you guys haven't mentioned.
Let us look for it. I'm not talking about gratuitous invasions like, you know something? We need a couple slaves. Let's pronounce a jihad or go and get some slaves. I'm talking about when Islam spilled out of the Arabian Peninsula. The first flush, as I said, was a domino effect. That's what happened.
So based upon the persecution and they can defend themselves.
I can understand it in terms of I explained it just now. The problems that they were having outside of the peninsula, they were having inside the peninsula. And on top of that, they were being aggressed from the north by the Heraclius forces and the Persian forces from the south.
Exactly. Not only that, inside, within themselves.
So I can defend. I am not saying that is the way to spread Islam. I'm against most Berbers. I'm wearing Berber clothes right now for purposes of people who are going to talk foolishness to trolls about I'm dressed like an Arab. This is Berber, and the Berbers are Africans. If anybody wants to know, it's Berber clothes I'm wearing, right? So I'm trying to tell you that the Berbers actually suffered the worst.
I'm sure the hat is Igbo though.
That's Gaddafi, man. That's Gaddafi, man.
I thought it was Igbo.
The Igbos were the red.
Yeah, the red one.
They call it Ekweme. They call it Ekweme. Now, the Berbers suffered the worst in Africa of Arab aggression. And they were whiter.
To this day.
In skin color, they were whiter than the Arabs. At the time,
I'm going to challenge that.
At the time, the Berbers who suffered the Arabs were brown. I'm not saying the Arabs are Negroes and people like to make that stupid claim. I'm not saying that either. But the Arabs are a darker skinned people. But that's a sidebar. The point is, black Africans. Black Africans did not suffer the invasions of the Arab on the continent.
They did suffer though. Everyone hasn't mentioned something. Sorry. The Sokoto Caliphate, what they did to the Oyo kingdom.
No Arabs ever came.
Muslims.
No Arabs. No, you're conflating.
Okay. No. He's not. He's not. No,
we're going to another topic.
I know a lot about the Sokoto Caliphate. I know. This is my area of West African Islam is my area of research. If you want to talk about the Sokoto Caliphate,
let's go there.
We need a new thing.
No, before you go there, can we just finish our conversation? Before we go there, I think before you have this discussion, which I am not knowledgeable, and I would love to learn. Can I just clarify? Can I just clarify my point? I want our discussion to end, and then you can move into what you're saying, and I could listen and learn.
No, sorry.
I go back to my principle.
Maybe we jump in too much. Let's keep it back.
No, it's good, because if I just finish this point, then I would like to learn from you guys about what happened there. Now, my argument is the following. To have a wishful thinking of how the world should be is everything that we all love. Skipping together, picnics every day, everything is calm. That is not the reality of this life. Islam has come to free the man from ruleship over another man. So if a man is enslaving his people, Islam has come to free him from those shackles and give servitude to God. So therefore, even in the Quran, chapter 49, verse 9, Allah says, if a party of the Muslims oppose another party, fight him. Abu Bakr, when he fought the Muslims, he fought Muslims. He had wars. Some of them were apostates, some of them stopped paying jizya. Abu Bakr waged war on them. Why? Because there shouldn't be disorder. So we don't have discrimination of we fight. It says here, fight the Muslim until he returns back to the order of God.
There is no jizya. Muslim cannot pay jizya.
No, he said that already.
Zakah. I never said that, brother. Zakah. And zakah is more than the jizya. Now, living in this world, like I said before, a black spiritualist living in Africa, expanding his kingdom, he has every right to expand his kingdom further in order to defend his kingdom from outsiders. Like you said, there was invasion. If his kingdom, a black spiritualist kingdom, was there and he was expanding it, I would have no problem. You know why? Because he's looking after his land and his people. He knows if I don't expand... You wouldn't have a problem if they were Muslim. 1 second. No, 1 second. If he is looking after his people and he wants his people protected, he has every right to expand his kingdom. However, what I will have a problem with is if he goes and kills innocent men, women and children, forces them to accept his religion. I would have a problem. That's why I'm saying Islam did something something similar in the aspect of expanding the kingdom, just like the Romans and the Persians and other empires did. The way it was different was
Islam is not the kingdom, it's not empire. You misgiving.
So you come in late on the conversation. So you
came very late.
We've covered this.
So therefore, I'm saying that what God has done and ordered for us is Islamic. It's not an idea of the Muslims. There was bad Muslims who implemented it the wrong way and done the wrong things.
But what I'm saying to you
I'm nearly finished. Shaka, let me think of me, yeah? Therefore, so this is a reality that we live in. However, if you look in history, the Christians that lived under the Islamic rule, there are historians who write that they were praising the Muslims and saying, may God make you rule over us again, because if it was the Byzantines, they would have slaughtered us. So therefore, to make it seem like it's a matter of perspective, accept Islam, pay the jizya. You either see it like that or our empire is expanding.
I never put that on it, you know.
Our empire is expanding. Would you like to accept Islam? No, thank you, sir. Okay, sir, you'll have to pay jizya because we are ruling. And you can have your land, you'll be under our protection. You want to practice your religion, brother?
But I don't have my land. You can't rule me on my land and tell me that I have my land.
Just to clarify, that was my point. I'm done.
That don't make no sense. All right, that's fine.
How do you respond to what he just said? He said you can't. No, I want you to respond to that one point.
You can't rule me on my land and then tell me that I have my land. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Then what you're going to do is this. Look, either you have the Romans, the Persians that are coming to you, and they're going to slaughter left, right, center, or Islam is going to implement.
So you're saying it's better than the less brutal devil than the more brutal devil.
Your empire would have done the same. You're living in a bubble, Shaq, with all due respect.
No, but I'm not.
Shaq.
But you're not in a position to make that statement.
Shaq, let me tell you something. Was your land invaded?
Sorry.
Was your land invaded?
No.
Okay. If you had an empire that defended itself and expanded it, would that happen? If you had an empire that was expanding and defending your territory, would have that happened?
Yeah, they would have done so.
But what's your central problem?
No, they would have tried to, but if you were strong, you would fight back.
What's your problem?
No, I understand what he's
No, sorry. As I was saying,
I understand disrespect. I agree with you.
My only point is that what he's saying is that the invasion aspect is Islamic. Yeah, so I'm saying that it's not that I am.
say that, but he says
right.
that.
That's what he's saying. What I'm saying is that I am not placing a judgment. Yeah. A qualitative judgment on the nature in which Islam came to Africa at the moment. What I'm saying is, according to what he's saying,
you never forced anyone,
right? Yeah, but I'm saying that according to what you're saying, that to me is forced. Right? That is to say to me that we can't disrespect, but we can invade is a contradiction.
No.
Invasion is disrespect. Right? What's it called? Right? To say to me that we can invade but we can't harm is a contradiction. Invasion is harm. Yeah? You don't invade and not harm.
So you can't liberate a nation. Okay, 1 second. You can't go ahead.
No, liberate from who? Liberate from who? Hold on. Liberate from who?
From the oppression of man.
First of all,
I gave a historical example for this.
Invaded and enslaved people again.
Hold on. Can I clarify? Hold on. Can I clarify? Because we're saying we're talking about the relationship between Abrahamic faith and African spirituality, and I am saying that there's a situation in which these faiths are looked down upon. They're not considered, and even in the conversation, the whole framing of what is good and right is based upon what is good for Muslims. So the people that are being invaded and impacted by this are not even being considered in the reasoning.
Yes, they are.
Just I'm saying, no, they're not. Because to tell me that it's based upon, let's say, the Romans, and you can either be invaded by us and ruled by us, or ruled by the Romans. And this is the choice.
Ali, what he's saying is we should be better. Is all he's trying to say. What he's saying is we make claims to be better.
More than that. I'm saying that the indigenous spiritual systems and the indigenous empires that govern these spiritual systems have a right to exist. Yeah, and they don't need without having to pay jizya or the threat of war, or anything like that.
Okay, can we come to the African land? 1 second, brother, uncle, please, if you can allow me. Brother, you were here from the beginning, please allow me.
We accept that. We accept this.
I'm also saying, one second. I'm also saying, because outside of invasion, the invading force, the military power, the political power, has power and is directed based upon the ideals. Yeah. So I'm saying that I'm saying that from, like we spoke about, the first 5 books of the Bible, not all of them, but a significant aspect of it is to deal with the people of Israel, so to speak, and their relationship with the people of Kemet. And I'm saying within that dialogue, within it itself, there is a disrespect to the traditions. And I'm not validating.
Don't conflate that with Islam. You're talking about the Bible. Look,
why can't I conflate it?
He's talking about monotheism. I think he's talking about the point monotheism makes.
Sorry. Is Abraham?
We don't even know if the
Torah is Abraham not a prophet in Islam?
Yeah, but not the one in the Bible.
Not the one in the Bible. So you're saying that you don't believe?
Not the one in the Bible.
Hold
of course
on.
not.
Are you saying that Islam doesn't give credence to the idea that the Jews were oppressed in Kemet? Yeah, so Exodus,
I don't know about that. That's the Bible. I don't take the Bible.
That's
what I'm saying. Don't use the Bible.
Isn't Moses or Musa?
Ali.
I am not talking about the Bible, you know.
I want to distill this. Let me distill this.
I gave you all a historical example.
That's late in history.
It's not, but the Oyo kingdom was conquered by the Sokoto Caliphate, and they imposed.
The so-called Oyo was conquering the homie. Stop with that foolishness. Cut that foolishness. I hate when y'all do foolishness like that. That's historical falsification. So Oyo was an expanding empire. Cut that out.
That's not what we're talking about.
Cut it out. I want to come back to you. Your main point is sound, which is this.
I agree.
I agree with your main point, which is this. Monotheistic faith. I'll come back to you. Monotheistic faith. No, I just get animated. He knows I'm his brother. That's how we talk. That's how we talk. Monotheistic faith has an attitude that our way is not only the true way, it is the only way. We are guilty of that. We believe this.
But isn't that what the religion says? That's part of the religion.
Yes.
Yeah, I am the way the people that never come through me.
No, that's
Muhammad, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger.
We believe.
There's no.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Can we make a circle?
There's no religion that God accepts other than Islam.
It will not be accepted from him.
And look,
it's true.
Uncle,
it is true.
Can I say, Uncle? No, can I say something? Look, I don't sugarcoat my religion.
You know what? Sorry.
I don't sugarcoat my religion.
Yes.
I tell you as it is.
Yes.
That's why I would have told you. Nah, it says I'll send you some roses first. Look.
Yes.
If Islam came to the lands, no war, and said, you know what, we want to talk about Islam.
Yes.
Your people, black spiritualists, do you think they're just going to let us just spread Islam? And people are converting and they're going to be okay with it? You guys are going to have beef.
No people would do that.
Exactly my point. So then I would say you're against freedom of speech now, because we came peacefully and we still want to talk about Islam.
No.
Once again, black spiritualists are coming to Islam, now you don't like it. You're going to fight us.
No. You're incorrect. Right? For example, there are many examples, There are many examples, in which when it comes to Islam and...
Did you understand? Did you hear me, Uncle?
Right?
Sorry, I'm sorry. Why do you interrupt?
I said, Uncle, if Muslims came in peace and said, forgive me, Uncle, forgive me.
No, because I didn't hear something.
No, he didn't hear.
I heard your point.
So you're
He said,
Uncle,
it happened many times in Africa.
I said the following. Okay, Uncle, no, sorry.
What you're saying happened many times.
Uncle, I said, imagine the Muslims come to Africa.
Yes.
No fight, no beef, nothing. We just want to talk about Islam.
Yes.
Islam, the oneness of God.
No, I misunderstand your question. No, sorry.
Okay, let me repeat.
Yeah, go on.
Islam comes to the
I have examples of it.
Okay, they come.
Danfordio, the one he's trying to give you. Danfordio came in peace.
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Osman, you don't know this history. If you really want to talk about
Uncle,
Osman, please.
Uncle, I will bow to your wisdom, but the idea that Danfordio
came in peace.
Listen, Islam comes in peace. Islam comes in peace.
He was forced with a military.
No, military. They come and they're speaking about Islam. Hundreds and thousands of people are coming to Islam.
I'll give you an example.
What would your people do?
I'll give you an example.
They want to fight us.
I'll give you an example.
You know they want to fight us.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Among the Ashanti people, kingdom, capital city Kumbisale,
that is this Kumasi. Kumbisale is ancient Ghana.
That's what I meant. Sorry, ancient Ghana. What's it called? Right, sorry, I'm conflating. And they began to trade, with Muslims, and so it was the city was called Kumbisale because there was two aspects to the city, all right. And when they were trading, they allowed the Muslims to build mosques, in certain parts. Okay. Yeah, in one part, they got to a point where they resided in one part. I forget which part. Okay. And when they were going between each, they were allowed to build a mosque in the other part. Okay. Yes. For the sake, when they come to trade, they can practice their faith.
Yeah.
They
shanty towns.
Right. They
began shanty. This is
shanty towns.
Shanty towns. It's like ghetto.
Oh.
Yeah.
As in
shanty towns.
Yeah. Right. This is more Soninke people. Yeah. Right. So, but when the Muslims at one point got dominance on one part of the city, the traditionalists in the other part of the city, if they were coming to the other, well, they were not allowed to build no shrines. In that section. Okay. Them kind of things there. Yeah. Now we're getting into the history of the fall of the Ghana Empire, the rise of Mali, right, and these kinds of things here. So I'm saying that there's infinite examples of Muslims coming to traditionalists and conversing. Reasoning, you know what I'm saying? The infinite examples, being allowed in for all kinds of different reasons. With the trade, what's it called? Right? Say again? In Sudan too. Infinite examples. Infinite examples. What tends to happen is, with that, when the Muslims get enough power, they subdue whatever else is there. To the point whereby now we know Mali and Songhai as Muslim empires. And it's only recently.
Are you happy with that?
One second.
I am.
Right, I know you are. Right, but it's only recently that I learned. It's only recently that I learned, that really what we're dealing with is a situation in which the rulership was Muslim. You could actually argue that it was actually half and half. The rest was traditionalists, but because of the supremacy of major world religions, we see it as a Muslim empire. So everybody in it we don't even consider what else was going on there. So my point is that we don't. So the relationship is very imbalanced. When it comes to traditionalists, you will find accommodations that you don't find when it comes to when Muslims relate or any Abrahamic faith relates to African traditionalists. And I'm saying that inherent within our relationships with these faiths is disrespect, is subjugation, is non-consideration. It happens, and you're saying
bad
to me
Muslims.
that is
bad Muslims do that.
Okay.
But listen,
it's not bad Muslims. You're saying that it's Islamic. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can't differentiate. You can't say on the one hand it's Islamic and it's not Islamic at the same time.
Shaka, a simple question. If I come to your land and spread the message of Islam peacefully, and you see that your traditions, your culture, your religion is disappearing, what would you do?
No,
real talk. Please,
I'm sure.
I'd like you to answer that.
But it's a fact. I'm not going to deny that.
There's no other way.
I'm going to say to you.
Unless you throw roses at me.
Personally, it's beef for me. If my own children reject my thing, it's beef. So you're going to agree with right on.
Okay, if there's a chance your children are going to accept Islam.
But to me, if you come to somebody else's land, and bring something
peacefully,
right, fine. But if a people have a culture and a tradition that is being outmoded, of course,
what would you do?
They do. What I'm saying, it is a natural. Listen,
you mentioned Ghana.
I'm saying,
so Ghana,
but I'm not. Listen, let me finish. I'm saying, yes, people are going to be concerned that the traditions of our ancestors are being outmoded.
And what would they do?
What do you mean, what would they do?
I wouldn't use that argument.
What would they do?
Right, it's a different thing. What I'm saying is...
Now, let me just put a little sanction.
I need to pray in 3 minutes.
Alright, the reason why I wouldn't use that argument, a lot of the far right's narrative is that black people or Muslims are coming over and changing the culture, and that's why they're trying to fight us. So I think that ideology within religion needs to come out. I think if we look at religion within its inception, like let's go just to the beginning in Africa. There weren't none of them stuff in the beginning. You know, like that. Most of the religions were oppressed people.
We're talking about
was fighting that and then over time, people that already had empire mentalities, like the Ottomans, they converted, and I think a lot of their imperialistic ways merged with what they said was the religion. And
bro, you came late, you know. He's saying that the invasion aspect is Islamic, you know. He's saying that it is Islamic. He's not saying that it's some bad Muslims. He's saying that it's Islamic, and I'm saying that.
Not the way the Bible.
But hold on. Because the idea that people are going to go to war based upon
you would have to.
Based upon a peaceful spread of a religion is nonsense.
I think it's a very bold claim that he's making,
no way.
But I've given you examples. I'm saying. But I've given you examples of how things happen. The African traditionalists allow conversation, them kind of things there. People convert. The war doesn't begin, you know, until those who are Muslim decide to militarily overthrow a thing. So I'm saying to you, that doesn't exist. But we're not talking about that at the moment.
In your land. And your people, your children are going to convert, and you're going to come with it. Shaq, you're going to be beefing.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
You're going to be beefing.
Whether I become with it or not, does it give the people that are bringing the religion the right to invade?
No, you're going to.
I have a right. Listen, if somebody comes into my culture and what they bring is having a detrimental impact upon the perpetuation of my culture, I have a right to be concerned about that.
And do what?
Listen.
What's your concerns do though? I'm confused.
What do you mean?
Are you going to speak
it might be I build a bigger shrine. It might be I begin. It might be I begin to proselytize, whereby proselytization was not a factor in my dynamic before.
And if it doesn't work?
What do you mean if it doesn't work?
No, listen, it doesn't work.
No, but you're bringing me hypotheticals.
No,
you are. No, you're not. Because you already said that the people them came with a military. If you come with a military, by that alone, even if you don't fight yet, once you come with a military, I'm a draw for an army, fam. That's all it is. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand there like this. One time, America threatened to invade China, and China just sent 1 million men on the road just to march. Yeah, just to say, listen, if you take your bad, touch a button. That's what I'm saying. They had the right to do it.
So the thing is, I'm saying from the reality.
They will allow the outsider to take your stone. The British.
You
was
tried
to the British.
Shaq,
the day that will be your end.
You do the same.
No, of course.
Imagine if Africa's spiritualists, we're running around there converting what's it called Muslims by dozens.
No,
right? By dozens.
Not by force.
Would you be concerned?
Yes, there's beef. I'm telling you, there's beef.
But I'm saying, so if that was happening, are you gonna come fight me?
Yes.
So we're gonna have
Look, I'm not sugarcoating. I'm telling you. Look.
I better prepare, fam.
No, Sheikh. If you're coming to the Islamic lands and you're spreading paganism, okay, for argument's
sake. Go ahead. Be honest, that's how you see it.
Islamically, there's beef. There's no look. Why is there beef?
But you're saying peacefully though, isn't it?
No.
Like if we went to his culture and spread homosexuality, would he tolerate it?
Yes, no, he wouldn't.
Suppose we decided to go spread faggotry in your country, would you like it? Exactly. Suppose all these we call it.
I'm not saying I would like it.
These people call trans.
Yeah, that's fine. All I'm saying is, but uncle, my not liking it.
They've come to Africa now.
I need to go pray for us.
Brother,
pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hope you
see,
I
don't like
it.
He started a fire and he ran.
No, he said
you can't start no fire.
I need to pray. I'll come back, yeah? Okay, all I'm just saying is, just last statements here, is just that I believe it's a reality.
Why do you want the last word? Is that before you
No, you're going to have the last word, because I'm going to leave. You're going to have the last word, yeah? Okay.
I'll hold him.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so naughty.
Okay, so I'm saying that it was a pleasure speaking to you. I've learned a lot, but I just want you to know that we live in a reality where we would love for no beef to happen. I would love to be holding hands, skipping, barbecue, chicken. It's all come. Look, I didn't say the chicken thing for the black thing. I don't want people to come and be like, why did you have to say chicken? Yeah, okay. I love chicken as well. Yeah? The point here is this: it's a reality that kingdoms, empires expand. It's a reality. For you to have a problem with that, it's a problem with reality. All Islam is saying, if it's going to be done, it's going to be done in a humane way. And you have a right to go and look at people who lived under the Islamic rule. They say, may God let you rule over us again, because the Byzantines and the Persians were slaughtering them. So don't get that empire's confused with us.
So you're saying that God sent the Muslims them to protect us from the Byzantines?
No, I never said that. I never said that. And I have the last
next time we can talk about the Sokoto Caliphate. That's the
I've got to go.
Tell me about
Melefekete Santi's over, you know, so I've got to go. Yeah,
there's a big function up in
25 minutes.
Up in Tottenham.
When?
Molefi Asante's here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going there now.
You're going to go up there now?
Yeah.
You filming?
Yeah, I'm filming it.
Yes, it started already.
Don't buy them boys?
It started already.
No, it's at 7 o'clock. It's at 7 o'clock. That's what I'm saying.
I thought they said earlier, like 1 o'clock till late.
No, it's
more than one speaker, you know. It's our sister as well. Get the name.
Yeah, but Emma.
Not Pat.
Huh? Matt's at the top now.
Pat Rodney. Next Sunday they have something. Dr. Walter Rodney's wife also speaking at the place in Tootenbed.
You know? Anyway, I'm glad it's 25 minutes today.
You're going to tell us about the peaceful reign of Dan Fodio.
Dan Fodio. I think you're wrong with that, you know.
Golden age.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Of the Sakwato model.
No,
what about Mansa Musa and them, man?
Yeah, different thing.
I want to know about what you did to my people.
This Yoruba man is trying to present a case as if the Yoruba, the
Give all the
most
wealth and
peaceful
I never said that.
people.
I never said
But
that.
that's a different argument, though. That's a different
You
argument.
are
Do you
trying
not?
to spin a narrative.
Uncle, with
When
Oya and the
he
homie,
mentioned,
with Oya and the homie, yeah.
guess what, clearly, when they were fighting with King
Yeah,
Guess
hold on.
about the homie,
But
who were big slave traders as a matter of
but
fact.
with Oya and the homie.
Oyo people were slave.
Uncle.
All of them were slave traders. All of them were slave traders.
One sec.
Cut that foolishness out.
Uncle, with Oya and the homie.
I don't like when people like that.
No, it's not Uncle. It's not that. It's not that. But Uncle, with all due respect, I think the equivalency doesn't make sense.
That was the British.
On Danfodio?
Yeah, no, hold on a second.
Danfodio peacefully preached, and El Nafati was persecuting him. No. If you
my main thing
shall
here
we
is
go
the
to the
core
beginning?
teaching of the Abrahamic
Yeah, one
faith.
sec.
Is anybody here cognizant of the beginning of the Sokoto Caliphate? Is anybody know the early history? If you don't know it, you can't have this discussion.
Before you get to that, let me ask you a question. Oya and the homie, when they fighting a religious war,
that is irrelevant.
it's not irrelevant, Uncle.
It is entirely
It's not irrelevant. It can't be
You know
irrelevant.
why?
It can't be
Genghis
irrelevant.
Khan is one of the biggest murderers on earth. He didn't fight a religious war,
No,
but
Uncle,
he butchered
Uncle,
the most amount of human beings.
It matters.
So no, it does not.
It matters,
I'll
Uncle,
tell you
because
why.
of the motivations.
We are talking
we cannot say because
House of land.
Yes.
Before the Sokoto Caliphate,
Yes.
they used to raid each other.
Yes.
The Hausas never became, let's use the word loosely, an empire.
Yes.
Before the time of Danfodio. They were called the Hausa state.
That's a fact,
Like the Swahili never had an empire.
Yes.
They were city states.
Yes.
The Somali had the Ajuran Confederation.
Yes.
But they like to call it an empire. But let's go back to West Africa.
Yes.
The Mossi as well.
Yes.
They never had an empire.
Yes.
They were states. Now,
Big up the Mossi still. We love the Mossi.
Oh, yes, we love them. I love them too.
Yes.
When Danfodio was preaching,
Yes.
Danfodio was a Sufi.
Yes.
And the Sufi tendency is not to go
I agree.
the Mujahideen
I
route.
agree.
You know that. They don't roll like that.
Yeah.
He started preaching, and the ruler, he started saying to the ruler, you are using Islam.
Yes.
For the point that people don't know, the ruler Al Nafati was a Muslim.
Yes.
And the Hausa had been Muslim since
Yes.
the 10th century.
Yes.
In 1400, under Muhammad Rimfa, they brought a scholar to write Al-Wadad al-Mudalib,
Yes.
a whole compendium of laws on how to administer Kano.
Yes.
Muhammad Rimfa was the emir of Kano,
Yes.
not all of the Hausa states.
Yes.
Now, when Danfodio came around, he was preaching a form of Islam saying, you, the Fateh, are oppressing the poor. You are using Islam
Yes.
as a way of oppression.
Yes.
There are taxes that you are levying on these people
Yes.
that are unjust.
Right.
The ruler said to him, you are a troublemaker.
Yes.
Something else you want. Danfodio, I know from the history, was not a person angling for power. He began to tell the women they can't wear the hijab they were wearing it.
Yeah.
This is the Muslim ruler,
Yeah.
and Kano is a Muslim state.
No, I get
so,
it. But I accept
Danfodio
Uncle.
was pushed into a position where he had to fight back. And when he started fighting back,
Yeah.
and the kind of success he had, a lot of what you call Mbororo Fulani.
Yes.
Mbororo.
Yes.
Now, for the record,
Yes.
Danfodio is not an Mbororo. He is a Takrur Fulani. He's a Futatoro man. He's not Mbororo. But because they have the similar language, like, okay, Baba Mal, you heard of Baba Mal?
Yep.
He is not an Mbororo Fulani. But he can perhaps understand those Fulani that live in the countryside in Niger who do the Gerewol.
language, yeah?
Yeah, it's not too close, but they understand.
Yep.
So, when they flocked to Danfodio.
Yes.
Half of those Fulani that flocked to Danfodio,
Yes.
helping against El Nafati, who is a Muslim, were not Muslim. Point
Yeah.
of fact. Half of them still live in Niger today. They do the Gerewol, and they are hardly even, they'll just call God Allah. They are not even Muslim.
Right.
They are the last, we call red
Can I ask a
Fulani.
question, Uncle?
So, I want to address this point about the beginning of the jihad, because it bears some resemblance to what we are talking about regarding the Arabian
But are you
Peninsula.
saying- but
It's a jihad.
But as I'm saying,
He called it a jihad.
but I'm saying, so was
So,
a jihad against what?
You want to quibble with labels?
No, a jihad against what?
Oppression?
Yes.
And the Hausa rulers lived in walled cities like and Kano and Kaduna, Katsina. And within these walled cities, they protected themselves. The peasantry farmed outside. They oppressed the peasantry, gathered the food, and when war started, they had a tendency to leave. That you're not really listening.
I'm listening.
I'm realizing now that
I'm listening. No, I am. I'm going
to tell you something. People ought to pay for what I got to say, you know? People got to pay for this. Seriously. What I'm
listening. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question.
But what I'm trying to say...
Let him finish, Uncle.
No, you want to hear... The man asked about Kano. Did you or did you not ask about this?
No, he asked about it. He asked the question.
I know he asked the question.
Well, allow the man.
But you're going on. No, but that is, that is stupidness.
No, it's called information. Maybe you don't recognize it. It's called information.
I'm ready to go and fight for my brothers in Libya.
This is your gun,
to release them from the camp, from the slave camp. What's the point of talking about slave in Jamaica 500 years ago when there's slave in Libya today? That I need to go and fight.
No, but we were dealing with the history.
Ask me a question.
But I want to ask a question, Uncle. I want to ask a question.
Because the information is too much for you.
Oh shit, man.
Don't swear. Please don't swear. Come on. Now, in the beginning, as I always say this, we talked up. Can you please stop?
1 second, Uncle. 1 second.
You can't put what around me to me.
One second.
You can't tell me nothing that what he said.
Let him finish, though. I want to ask a question.
Exchange hats. You want to exchange hats?
Come on. Continue, brother.
Right. Now, basically, there are a lot of resemblances. There's a domino effect in these things. I know the history. Please cut it out. Come on. You gotta go. No. Danford is a Sufi. And when he himself realized the jihad got away from him, he retired back into seclusion. His son, Muhammad Bello. Now, why I should hate him is because I was married to a Kanuri woman. And they invaded Borno State. He's talking about Yoruba Oyo, right? I will tell you where they went. They went to Borno, who had been Muslim thousands of years before them, and went and started burning areas and so. So if you spoke to my, he's now deceased ex-father-in-law, he will tell you, I do not regard Usman Danfodio as a hero. They came bringing ice to the Eskimo and sand to the Arab. What did they teach? Could they teach us?
So because they had Islam already?
It was a domino. It was a domino effect. Coming to Yoruba land now. The Yoruba used to take slaves from the Hausa and call them Gambari. They used to take slaves from the Hausa. What I don't like is one-sided history. The Hausa used to take slaves.
My question
the Yoruba used to take slaves. You know why? Wait, let me land. Before the Yoruba, before Danfodio came to power, Oyo has already more of a sense of a centralized state. The advantage the Yoruba had, part of their empire was in the forest. So there were all those fruits and fertility. Part of it was in the savannah. They could move horses. So they had the advantage. So that's why they were kicking the homies' ass. They were kicking them. They were under pressure. So Dahomey fought back. But Dahomey itself...
we're talking 17, 1800s right now, yeah? Right. And I'm saying, so we're talking about a period in which the so-called slave trade...
I'll come to you. I'm not done yet. I want to speak about Afonja.
Right.
I want to speak about Afonja.
But you don't even...
The man asked the question.
But Uncle, one second. Uncle, let me land, right? We're talking about a period in which the so-called transatlantic slave trade is already established fully, right? It destabilized the entire West Africa, so we know already the context in which a lot of these fractions were taking place, these wars were taking place. When I asked you if Oya and Dahomey was religious, but were religious, but specifically Oya and Dahomey were religious, is because therein lies the key difference. Because if we look at Oya and Dahomey, Oya is the origin of the Voodoo tradition. Dahomey is the origin of Oya is Ifa, but these are related systems. So evidently, this was not a war in which one group was trying to subjugate the spirituality.
I'm not defending that.
I'm making it clear. We're not dealing with a situation in which one group...
that doesn't make it better.
Here I'm saying. I'm not saying that the war was a good thing. What I'm saying is that...
You're not saying that, but it doesn't make it better. Because Islam was indigenous. The point I'm trying to make is, you're talking about...
That's not my argument. That's not my argument. Right? That's not my argument. Right? What I'm saying is that we're not dealing with a group trying to suppress and subjugate the spirituality or the culture of another group. Their differences were political. And took place in the context of a region that was destabilized by increasing European colonization and invasion, continuously over centuries. What I'm saying is that's different to Sokoto, in which they related to Oya state, yeah, not just as a political institution, but as a religious institution and subjugating the culture of the people. That's a difference. That's a difference.
Let me address that. That is not that is partly correct and partly incorrect.
So then we're in agreement then.
No, we are not, because I said you didn't hear the part where it's partly correct. Let me explain the part that's partly incorrect. African religions do not suddenly stop and say, right, the Nubians and the Ethiopians have been Christians. Take the Christians from the time of King Ezana. Ergo, it's a foreign religion. As far as the Ethiopians are concerned, that Christianity is indigenous. Islam, as I said, did not start with Usman and Fodio in Sokoto. It started from the 10th century. It was formalized properly in the 14th century. And
with Mali?
No, what about the Hausa states now? Because we're still talking about your...
I thought you meant in West Africa, sorry.
Okay, but if you want to use that argument, you go back to Tekrur in the 9th century. As far as these people were concerned, this was not the imposition of a foreign ideology. Islam had taken root so long. For these people, this was an African religion. It's another African religion.
Is that the people of God? The Ouagadougou, is that how they felt about it?
Ouagadougou is in Burkina Faso.
No, what I'm saying is, the Ghana Empire was originally known as... Ghana is the name of the rulership. Yeah? So Ouagadougou or Ouagadougou is the name of the empire itself. The indigenous name. Yeah? What's it called? What I'm saying is, are you saying that the people of... So Mali probably wouldn't have seen it like that because Mali, the rulership was Muslim. But what about, and what about the people under Mali, in the Mali Empire that were not Muslim? Would they have considered it an indigenous religion or not? Well, so we have to understand that under Mali, the traditionalists were subjugated as well.
Not true. Not true.
There was subjugation.
Not true.
It wasn't.
It happened under Muhammad Touré in Songhai. Even under Sumanguru Kanteam.
Are you saying
Sonny Ali? Even under Sonny Ali, he was bringing back.
Are you saying that traditionalists and Muslims under Mali experience equal footing?
No,
on equal footing. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that's why you're doing subjugation.
No, what you're doing is you're bleeding one point into the other.
No.
The one does not automatically follow from the other. What we're talking about here with ancient African Islam is that by the time you mention Oyo, you're going up to the 1800s. By that time, Islam was considered an African religion in that area. So to talk about saying that the Hausas are... You're calibrating this thing in very modern terms.
What I'm saying is, if we're saying that it's possible for a religion to become indigenized based upon the length of time that it's been there, and also you have syncretism, so you have people that have
Taqlid, it's called Taqlid.
So you have
which is now what I want. That's what you're talking about in Mali. In Mali, it has been recognized that at the court of not Mansa, maybe Mansa Suleiman. It wasn't Mansa. Ibn Battuta saw Mansa Suleiman. He didn't see Mansa Musa. When he came there, some of the servant girls, and this is not a nice thing to relate, we used to be naked.
Right.
This is the culture that they were practicing before Islam. And even in the royal court of Mansa Suleiman.
That's not the culture though.
No. You guys have a problem with admitting things.
No, it's not that.
What is wrong with being naked?
It's not nothing wrong with being naked.
But what's wrong with it?
No, nothing wrong with being naked.
The Dinka today are still naked in the cattle camps in Sudan.
I wasn't going to say nothing wrong.
Don't be so nervous about...
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't saying that. No, I never said that.
He's an African naked.
I wasn't
saying
wrong with
nakedness.
I didn't say that.
You want to spread a message about nakedness.
What a sinful old man you are.
Listen to you already.
Okay, what I'm saying is, but it's like today, a lot of Africans on the continent, and in the diaspora, wouldn't see Christianity as a foreign religion. I couldn't tell my grandmother that Christianity is a foreign religion. She would look at me and laugh. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because she comes out of a context in which, you know what I'm saying? So today, it doesn't discount the history. Right? The fact of the matter,
You know why I say Christianity is a foreign religion?
Because you're a Muslim.
Number one, I'm a Muslim. Number two, there's too much iconography and geopolitics that links the brand of Christianity we have with the West. It's not like Ethiopian Christianity.
Right. But in Trinidad,
we have the Ethiopian church in Aruka.
In Trinidad, you have a thing named Strango,
Right?
And then you have Revivalist Baptists.
Yep,
right?
Shango Baptist, Shaka Baptist.
All them something there.
I know them all.
Yeah, right. And so technically speaking, those two things should not be able to exist in the same space at the same time. Technically speaking, right? But the iconography, you got one part of it is biblical, and the other part of it is Ifa. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm saying they've syncretized the thing.
Yes.
And they, you know what I'm saying? Right? My point is that you have that.
But what about the evangelicals who are taking over? The whole of the West is being swamped. But now what they...
You yourself accept that the Wahhabism is beginning to take over in West Africa as well.
Yes.
Right. Now I'm saying...
Terrible, isn't it? Terrible.
Right? But what I'm saying is that...
We do not love that.
Right? But I'm saying... And to be fair, and I accept that Islam has a different tradition of iconography than Christianity does, specifically because of the use of imagery in Westernized Christianity.
No, the geopolitics of Christianity is tied to the West. But that is my beef with it.
I'm saying...
It's not Ethiopian Christianity we worship.
Yeah, but I agree. But I'm saying that the geopolitics of Islam is tied to Arabia.
Not so.
That is why...
Salafism.
That is why...
Salafism.
Why did Mansa Musa travel across the desert?
Yes.
Yeah, and who was he paying tribute to? Yeah, and these things. I'm saying that the people even
paying tribute?
Even today.
What I'm saying is...
No, those are endowments.
What I'm saying is, even the people in West Africa, in terms of their spiritual focus, look to a certain place. Yes?
You know how to spin that?
How?
In Gambia, the Mandinka who settle in the Gambia,
speaking
about their ancient homeland, the Mandinka who live in Mali, they call them Tilibonka. Tilibonka and Tila and Mandinka mean the sun. Hold on.
What's the ancient homeland?
Tilibonka means the people who live where the sun sets.
Yes.
When they were spreading Islam in Mali and they would try to convince the ordinary people, you know what they used to tell them?
Yes.
You're praying in the direction from there where life arises.
Yes.
So for the African, in his mind, the East is a mystical place, just like in ancient Kemet where the sun rose. In ancient Kemet, it's the same, right? It's the same. Now if you're talking,
Kemet people used to look to the south where they come from.
Look,
but he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
They used to look
we are talking about.
But he's talking about spiritually. He's talking about spiritually. Yeah, he's talking about spiritually. You're both right. You're both right.
I despair. I really do. Right. So when you. As far as I'm concerned, when I live in Trinidad, facing the Qibla, I'm also facing Africa. When I live in London, like I go to my prayers right now,
you and I both
am facing Africa.
You and I both know that most people don't have your psychology.
I know, but wait, let's open this up more. And I don't like opening this up. Who is to say that the Arabian Peninsula is not a part of the continent of Africa?
It is. Different argument.
You have just lost the argument.
Different argument. No.
You have just lost the argument.
Different argument.
Okay. You just supported me.
Different argument. You know why? It's a different argument to me. Because I'm saying that, for example, because something happened on the continent doesn't make it indigenous to the continent. You know what I'm saying? So if the Coptic faith comes out, because for me, I'm like this. When people say to me the Coptic is an original African religion, I'm like this with it. Because I
understand
don't,
what you're saying.
Right? Because I don't see it. Because it's undoubtable.
Something's been there.
No.
It's really hard to keep saying it's not.
It depends, Uncle, because I'm saying that...
it does never... I feel the Copts do not... Their patriarch is Bishop Shenouda. Well, in my day when I was living there, he was Bishop... The patriarch Abuna, Bishop Shenouda. He doesn't look to the... He doesn't go to the Eastern churches and do this.
No.
He was a patriarch in his own...
It doesn't mean that he's
in
not perpetuating a certain tradition,
the Ethiopians themselves, who used to look to Alexandria to appoint their Abuna, they stopped. So the Ethiopians appoint their own, so they don't kowtow to any other form of church.
But all that means is that
to me, that's indigenous.
They've
what I don't like about them is they're imperialistic. That's another story.
Right, different thing.
I don't go there.
All that means is that they've indigenized. That's all it means.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is
which is good.
It can be.
Stop being such a purist.
Humans
change, and I like it. And I like that about him. We need people like him. I like that about you, but you're a purist.
But that's fine, but then you can accept that the purity was disrupted at one point.
There is no such thing as a constant point that was disrupted. Humans have always evolved. You can't, when people come telling me things like, oh, let's be Hebrew because Africa is a construct. The word Africa is a construct.
It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
I said to them, look, all things are a construct. Even if Africa was a construct and Hebrew is a real thing, at one point that too was a construct. Most of what they're talking about Hebrew came from Kemet.
I don't dispute
that.
But nobody is more purist, Uncle, than an Abrahamic religious person.
That's quite true.
Right? Nobody's more purist than
That's
that.
true.
So I'm saying that if I am knee deep, and I accept it, I am to a degree purist, yeah.
But I know why you are. You have to fight all that.
Exactly.
I
even
why
though I
you
try to be nuanced, yeah. But we're dealing with a situation of invasion and cultural imposition. So in order,
and I deplore this for the record.
Right. No, I hear that.
My father-in-law, if he heard me standing here trying to justify Danfodio, he'll run me out. And he's a hardcore Kanuri, like Sani Abacha, your former president.
That's scumbag.
That's the Kanuri people. The ones who take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are Kanuri. We are not saying, for the record, we are not saying scumbag to the Kanuri nation.
No, to Sani
He's
Abacha.
talking about Sani Abacha. Yeah, he would not stand and what? What?
Yeah.
Muhammad Bello, what? So there is that, and these are hardcore Muslims from before the house ever heard the word Muslim. So there was not just a targeting of what happened. As I said, a lot of Fulani joined the jihad who were not even religious. They were there for ghanima booty. They were there for the spoils of war, and they joined.
These things happen, but over time, a lot of them would have
become Muslim. And that's why he pulled aside. Danfodio said, "This is not what I wanted," but. His son Muhammad Bello became, they say, more Catholic than the Pope. Read the letters that were written between Al-Kanami of Borno State and Muhammad Bello, arguing, what is this jihad about? What you doing here?
One second. I got it right here, but quick thing. One second, quick thing.
Yes.
Okay. The reality is that history has been brought forward today to the point whereby the political system in Nigeria, is divided along so-called ethnic lines and religious lines. You know what I'm saying? Right? The dominant spiritual systems of the people themselves, don't factor into the power dynamics here. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about Yoruba, we're not talking about Ifa. We're talking about Christians. When we're talking about Hausa, we're not talking about the indigenous spiritual system of the Hausa people. We're talking about Muslims. So I'm saying that the implications of Danfodio, coupled with the increased colonization by the Europeans, has created a situation whereby these two religions have the power in the situation at the moment, both of them to the detriment of the indigenous.
I agree so far.
They disagree on bare things, One thing they agree on is that Ifa is devil worship. That we shouldn't pay all obligation to our ancestors. That's what they agree on. So I'm saying that a fight between the Yoruba and the Igbo is different from the Igbo and the Yoruba and the Hausa fighting based upon religions that were given to them by outsiders. It's a different thing.
I disagree. It depends on the people that we're having the discussion about. It depends on how seriously they take the things that are being squabbled over. If the Yoruba and the Igbo are squabbling over something that is very important to them, it is to all intents and purposes like a jihad. You have to know,
because one spells cultural genocide and the other doesn't. You yourself,
No, who says that? If that is true,
I want you to know how much I respect you.
If that is true, the Hausa would not have any African culture at all.
Not necessarily.
Yes, if cultural genocide is the product of foreign religions.
It's difficult to entirely wipe out our culture. It's very difficult to do.
What? Right? Tell me what about the Hausa is not African?
Their spiritual system. But within it, listen, let me finish. But they've syncretized. So basically, they've got Islam.
I was going to say,
right? That's all it is.
No, but barring that, we have been discussing religion.
I'm not denying.
What? You Fulani?
Okay. It's like
about
it's like
I want us to be intimate with these cultures before, because half of these people are Muslims.
It's
because of the Sokoto Caliphate.
No, not true. Only Kwara State. Only Kwara State. The rest of them became converted by Ahmadiyya.
It's like
the rest of them were converted
where you from, bro?
by
Where you from? Congo.
That is not correct.
It's like Sheikh Amadou Bamba. Yes.
Queen Bambi of Congo. You know?
The Yambi, Liwa people. Right?
You know what?
Oh no, she was over here the other day. So yeah, he's asking you. Sorry, Queen Liambi was over here. And if you know Queen Liambi,
no, I don't know.
Of the Luba people, yeah. Anyway.
Luba people. Huh?
Yeah, Luba, yeah. But what I'm saying, Uncle,
Baluba,
is that
you guys are a lifelong conversation, though.
There's a very fundamental difference, between, because we know that there were differences among different African groups. I have not come across a war, and indigenous to the African continent, that took place along religious lines, where one group
to me that's important, but to say that, to use that as a smoke screen to say the rest of Africa was fine is problematic.
No, I don't say fine, Uncle.
You're using it as a fig leaf.
I don't say fine.
What I'm worried about here is if you keep using these things as a fig leaf, you're going to ignore serious other problems that are happening in Africa.
Let me show you why I don't ignore.
We're fighting for other reasons. But
I'm not saying that they were correct. Let me show you how I listened to you.
So then why are we hooking on this?
Because
we've done this to death.
Because of the conversation we're having.
Let's talk about other wars they've had.
Leon didn't take the conversation.
You want to do this?
No.
You want to do this?
Before we
see what's going on. Because here's a problem I'm having here.
Yes.
What I'm having is this. It's easy for me to do, and I often do this as an arbitrator.
Yes.
When people get on me and say, but I'm not defending anything. I am just balancing the discussion. Now, to say that my religion was not a religion of proselytization and force, ergo the other side was always bad and we were always good, is a way of not facing some of the other problems we have on the continent. But we're doing it too much.
Let's say I'm Ifa.
Doing it to death.
Let's say I'm Ifa, yeah? All right? And people in Ifa make mistakes, right? What does that have? Why does my mistakes or our mistakes in Ifa, justify a foreign imposition and subjugation of Ifa? If the Ifa people have problems and we're doing wrongness, then it's for us to sort that out. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about the fact that these people have come to try and not even correct, but destroy. Like the Ifa. Uncle, you said the other day, when you done, I think it's part 1, when you talk about Islam in West Africa, I listen carefully, because you're my uncle and I respect you. And even if I disagree with you, I listen to you. That's what I'm saying. I want you to know that. Clearly, I don't want people to know that.
I've seen your comments.
Right?
I know you.
Oh, I didn't even know that you was reading,
Yeah, I read. I don't answer them because
that's fine,
you'll have to answer fools as well.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. And I will start there.
Even if I disagree, right? Now, you said yourself that as far as the North is concerned, plenty in Vietnam, right? Then people in the North started to trade people in the West. And you said some of the people, and I forget the group that you mentioned. Right, that was it, Took it on with a vigor.
More conviction than the Berbers who brought it
that they got it from. And so the proselytization.
That's great, though, isn't it?
Right?
It's great.
What's that?
To be convicted about what you're doing is good, isn't it? If you're doing something, it's no point if you're not doing it good, right? Your parents have taught you that. You've learned that. There's no point doing something if you're not doing it good. And another thing, right? I'm going to hate myself for the point I'm about to make.
Go ahead.
If I have something that's beautiful, and this lovely sister is standing here, I would want to share that with
sorry, I got
my sister.
I'm going.
Yeah, you come late. Look at you people. Look, she's getting the gift. The problem with Abrahamic faith. Shall we go back into the?
Yeah, go. Yeah.
I tell you, the double-edged sword of Abrahamic faith.
Yes.
They start by saying this: we have got this great thing, this message. We've got the gift. Now, how would it look if people come later and say, you had the gift of salvation and you refuse to share? So now, from that line of thinking, they say, I can't have this good thing without wanting to share. From this, listen to how it starts twisting, spiraling out of shape. I want to save you, even if you don't want to be saved. That's where it spins out of shape. Now, if you have power to back it, like the Europeans did.
That's what happened.
With the Arabs, like I said, the Arabs conquered North Africa with swords. The Berbers had swords.
They wipe out the population.
Wait a minute, now you're doing it again, right?
They wipe out the population, the African population.
Of North Africa? You really need to read some more.
Yes.
You need to read more.
I don't need to read anymore.
No, you need to read more. Come to one of my classes.
You now.
You can't.
Read you enough.
Remember him, right? Remember him last time? We can't do a part 2 of this. Let's keep this here. So he's interrupting.
I got to run as well.
I know, but I just want to make this point about this. The force in Africa was in the north. That's where the force was. The Arabs came. And soon after that, the Umayyads was the end of the Arabs. You had the Abbasids, Arabo-Persians, right? after this, you don't have an empire saying we are working on behalf of Queen Elizabeth I. What we're doing is on behalf of King Louis of France. What we have is on behalf of Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. That is the difference with Christianity. Christianity also came with guns and cannon. It was an asymmetrical meeting of adversaries.
How is the caliphate? How is the caliphate?
The Moroccan.
Oh Lord!
One second.
The Moroccan war with Mali for nearly 100 years.
He doesn't know anything.
The Moroccans.
He doesn't know anything.
And they even employed Spanish
mercenaries.
Mercenaries and general. Not only mercenaries, and general.
His name was Judar Pasha. We know.
Right. The Moroccans.
We are used to it.
So when you
we are used to it, but
yes. No, what I'm saying is, how is that?
I in the pack before you come to England.
I know that.
You can't tell me good
props. Okay, you got props.
Two uncles, man.
He alive.
Two uncles, man. You have to leave them alone, man.
No, but like
how
I
is
said,
a caliphate, uncle? Different. A Muslim caliphate, different from a Christian empire.
The Muslim caliphate. Give me an example of one. The Sokoto Caliphate. The Sokoto Caliphate.
But are you saying that the Umayyad?
No, he's give me an example.
But are you saying that the
Umayyad? You mean naughty? He gave an example. He wants an Arab one. He gave an African one. It's spoil your plan. I'm not your gamer. He gave me an African caliphate.
No.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now go there. I do pay. Not go there one line. See, I speak to you in Hausa. I colonize you. I colonize you. I spoke to you in Hausa as well. I just colonized. I started with Yoruba. I said Modupe. And then I said, I spoke to my
that part I didn't understand.
I secretly colonized them.
Yeah, I know you did. I know the truth.
See, here's the difference. As far as they're concerned, I colonized you by an African language. Hausa is an African language.
It doesn't change.
It's an African language.
That you still.
Yeah. If I impose my language on you, is it not still an African language?
I don't dispute any of that. My main point is that when we talk
I'm doing it to confuse you.
I know what he's doing.
I'm playing with him. I'm talking to him through you. I know what I'm doing. I'm playing with him. No, the point. What was my point?
I was asking you how is an Islamic caliphate different to European?
And he gave the example. He beautifully supplied the example of the Sokoto Caliphate.
Yes.
The Sokoto Caliphate was not working on behalf of an imperial power. The slaves in the Sokoto Caliphate were just like before the Sokoto Caliphate, people who were oppressed by the Hausa aristocracy. Right. They were oppressed. The difference is now you have 11 of Fulani interspersed with the Hausa aristocracy. It was if you want to interpret it from a socialist point of view, it was workers being oppressed by just an addition of a new set of leaders.
Are you saying Sokoto didn't deal with slavery?
I just told you they had most of their slaves were for domestic use. At the time of the Lord Lugard, at the time of Lord Lugard, the slave population of Hausa land exceeded the freeborn population, and all of them were working on land and so forth.
Yeah, the Yoruba as well.
So the point is, the Sokoto Caliphate was an African caliphate.
There's a context to that though that's missing me at the moment. But I've read it before. But yeah, maybe I'll refresh it and come back to it. My only point though, Uncle,
if I come to you with cannon, ships, and guns, and then I also bring healthcare, superior healthcare, and I bring bicycles, and I bring also.
But this is the classic.
That is entirely. I have no way of resisting you.
This is the.
I have no answer for you.
This is the classic.
That's not a matching up. That's not a battle between equals.
No, it's not. But
I can't compare the European this thing with the Arab war, with the Muslim.
But what you just gave is the classic European imperialist argument. We came and we brought hospitals and we brought schools, I am not agreeing with it.
I am not agreeing with it.
No,
I am saying that it is an asymmetrical war from the get-go between Africans and Europeans. There was no parity from the get-go. With Arabs, if you want to say, they came to Africa and they got their tails, they got their asses handed to them.
Can I ask a question?
In Nubia.
The people that after this I got to run. The people that the Muslims in the West, that we say, right, and them kind of things. What was their relationship like
with Ghana, ancient Ghana?
No. Right? No, because I know that already. It was contentious. Yeah, but I'm saying
stop that.
The ones that were in the West, what was their relationship as Muslims with those in the North?
Trade. I'll give you an example. Funj. Remember the guy who interviewed me called Kabashi? I'll give you a good example. after the collapse of the kingdom of Dongola, the last Christian kingdom, and they kind of brought that on themselves a little bit because they tried to join one of the crusades, and the Mamluk Sultan said, you know something, we can't have our back door undefended, and destroyed the last of the Christian kingdom of Dongola. In that area, in that political vacuum, arose a kingdom to the south of Dongola in the land called Senar, called Funj. Now the Funj are actually a people that resemble the Dinka of South Sudan. They came into that area, the Funj, the people called the Cholo or Shiluk. They came into that area, and because they were trading with the, the Christian kingdom is destroyed, but the vacuum is there, and the trading relationship has to be built back. Because
but everybody was trading with them.
Yes, but because the Shiluk were trading with the Mamluks, they actually became Islamic Muslim. Nobody imposed Islam on them.
Everybody in from West Africa was trading with North Africa, yes? Whether they were Muslim or not, there was trade going on.
Yes,
in West Africa.
Yes.
My point is that, was there a specific relationship? Remember, you said that as far as the North, most of that, if not all of it, was invasion and conquest.
The North.
Yes? Yeah. What I'm saying is, and then they tried to, because there were attempted incursions into the West. Into West Africa from those that were invading in the North.
They would have been having to face people like the Tuareg.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
They wouldn't be facing Black Africa.
They didn't.
They'll be facing Tuareg.
Either way, right? But I'm saying, definitely at this point.
I'll give you the tribes.
Hold on a second. One second. I'm saying, is there a relationship between Muslims, Africans, in the West, and Muslims in the North that empowers...
Military connections?
Military, or otherwise, economic.
In fact, he was right about one point. The Moroccans actually sabotaged Songhai. He was right about one point. The Moroccans actually sabotaged Songhai in 1591.
I'm aware of that. So you're saying that there's no relationship between those Muslims?
Trade.
No, but I'm saying, so when you say trade...
Military, no.
Like I said, there was already a trading relationship with West Africa, Muslim or non-Muslim. But I'm saying, so when you keep saying trade, you say that the Muslims in West Africa and the Muslims in North Africa had a specific trading relationship that didn't exist with the rest of West Africa. Is that what you're saying?
No, Ghana was the reason Ghana started. Now you wanted to talk about Ghana earlier, Wagadu.
Yes.
Ghana was not a literate.
No, yeah.
So what they did, once they were trading...
In the same way anyway,
When they were trading... we have literacy today, right? Pens and paper. But if somebody came with computers, we cannot defeat them. So let's be honest, if we only have pens and paper and they have computers, our literacy is inferior to theirs. Let's face facts. We cannot defeat them. They are superior to us. Let's face it. I know y'all don't like that kind of talk.
I know, we know.
All right? I'm going to finish this. Let me finish this. So what you had is, in ancient Ghana, they employed a lot of scribes, literally from Tekru. And they did a lot of keeping of accounts with the trans-Saharan trade before the time of Islam in Ghana. And that is how Islam started to spread. Once people bring a piece of civilization that enhances your quality of life, you're going to gravitate to it. And that's my point why I believe that Islam... Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Islam was not forcibly imposed in West Africa in that way.
I think the word force needs to be defined, and I think.
But we'll become snowflakes.
And I think the dynamic,
if we boil it right, we'll become snowflakes.
I think the dynamic of coercion needs to be properly understood. 1, 2. I think the dynamic.
Khawarij.
Coercion.
Oh, coercion.
And I also think the dynamic of discrimination, subjugation, and demonization also needs to be understood.
And enslavement.
Because I'm saying that whatever we're going to say about right? Whatever we're going to say,
we were far from innocent.
I don't dispute that.
We don't have a significant dynamic of traditionalists demonizing Islam based upon just.
We have no dispute about that.
Yes, I'm saying we don't have
I have no dispute about that, my young brother Mbandaka. We should join forces to denounce this.
Yes, sir.
We have to. I'm telling you the truth. I say this for the record. I grew up as a small boy with Yoruba people in Trinidad. And they know I'm a Muslim. And when I go to their ceremonies, we are Omar Obatala. They don't say, you don't have to take palm wine. You don't have to make offerings. Because Obatala children stand to the side.
Yes.
They call us the Muslim people are the children of Obatala. They say Obatala is the one who was creating human beings. And in the folk, while he was drinking, he was taking sips of palm wine. He got drunk and started...
He made some mistakes,
He started making deformed children. It's the narrative as it goes. So, for that reason, Obatala, who's supposed to be like the Muslim, as you say, he's supposed to be the higher standard, it said to him, these things are now forbidden to you. So when they met Muslims wearing the white, whose sacred day is Friday, and we don't take spirits, the Yoruba, in their cosmology, made a space for the Muslims. And I have to put that on record and say that is true.
Okay, so we're agreed on something then.
Dawuud, good to meet you, brother.
Listen, there's no point being unnecessarily... I am not an unnecessarily adversarial person.
I respect that. Point for that. No, I respect
I want truth. I want truth.
I was just telling Ali early on as well that he was talking the language of absolutes.
Right.
And that he shouldn't read
Right.
So when he says invasion is Islamic, when you account to what invasion does, there's so many things that are not Islamic.
Right. Point taken. Yeah? Understood, bro. Yeah, we'll talk some more. I gotta run. Brother, we'll talk some more, yeah?
No, this is not your Ghana. It's not your Ghana. This is Southeast Mauritania, part of Mali. It's a different Ghana. Young man, Dakar.
Yeah, I'm going to
Sorry for that.
Ahlan.
You should ask the question to Mugabe. The culture.
Take care.
Maghrib. Salaam or in the open, they are using it.
Salam alaikum.
Yeah, okay, Fi kursi?
Yes, chair, yeah.
Okay, let me join. Walk with me if we want to talk. Let's go. I have to pray. Come walk with me.
Content over
everything.
everything.
Yeah, look, we can't leave this on its own like that.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Hey,
Content over everything. From your
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
So if you want to talk about Islam and how they treat women, then you should go to the source. I am not an expert on that. So I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to go into a long-ass fucking debate about that.
But it's
and
an
then they start coming over here. I don't want to.
Irrespective of Muslims here, there are examples of men that oppress women culturally.